I'm Raquel, and we have Stefan.
Hello.
How's everyone doing tonight? Let's see. We got 1,000 spears. This is I Love Food trying out a different name. Oh, are you trying a different name now?
Oh.
But why? I love your original name.
I am just bringing up my Studio Ghibli list.
Oh, I am too. It's on my phone though because well, I have I only have one monitor I can look at. Might have to get myself a second monitor. I don't know.
Well, I've got it up on my iPad split screen, so I have the chat and the list. So if you want me to, I could just name a movie. I've got all the dates, and we could click on it for the cast. I think we're good to go. Hello, Bone.
Hey, Bone. Hey, Kitty.
And Hector.
Hello, Hector. Hello. Welcome.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have the movie list on my phone, but yeah, it might be just much easier for me to have two monitors instead of like having two window tabs open on one laptop.
Trying to think of where we left off. Was it Spirited Away?
Actually, we left off on yes, we're supposed to start Spirited Away tonight.
Right.
Because we left off on the my neighbors, the Madas.
Right.
Yeah, that's where we left off. I don't want to start without dialogue without being here because I know he wants to talk about Spirited Away.
Yes, I know he did, and I bumped into him earlier today. I think you may have been in the chat. I don't remember, but he did a live stream today. He's a little under the weather. He was
Oh,
streaming a
I
little
understand.
earlier today.
Yeah. I was in the chat on his live stream earlier this afternoon, and he did say he didn't really feel quite well. So I hope he feels better soon.
Indeed. Yeah, look at this. We've got a nice little chat going.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
outnumbered. Always a good thing.
Oh, yeah, sure, Hector. You can come on the panel. All I ask is I have a rule here, though. If you're new here, you have to have your camera on before I let you on the panel. Because there are friends of mine that have let on new people that didn't have their camera on, and there was a avatar picture that wasn't really appropriate. Hey, Brett.
Nice.
Moira sent you. Ah, thanks, Moira.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. I know her so well as Kitty that I forget that her first name is Moira.
Moira Kitty, yep.
And I'm sure she would blush if I said that first name is a bit of a mouthful.
Oh, thanks, Bone. I guess that's Brett Boyle's channel. Thank you, Bone.
Oh, okay. Got confirmation from Brett.
Yes, chair sucks though. Might have to put some oil on that chair. But hold on, let me get the link. So I ordered my PS5 console just yesterday. And well, I'm hoping this time around it goes well because this past summer I attempted to buy a PS4 on Walmart, and for some odd reason, instead of getting a PS4, I got a fanless Dyson fan instead.
Oh, right. I remember hearing about that. Good grief.
And I'm like, how can you confuse a PS4 console for a Dyson fan? So I didn't get my PS4 from Walmart. I got a refund. So I'm like, heck with this. I'm just going to order the PS4 on Amazon. And that's what I did. So hopefully this time around, since I'm ordering the PS5 on Walmart, they won't screw up my order again.
And so you are getting a PS5, right? Although you're ordering it from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's from Walmart. Should
Oh,
be
okay.
here by Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, I bet you that was a single digit that got smudged, and you just got barcoded into a fan, I guess, which seems really bizarre. The price should have been so bizarre.
I don't know. It was just really freaking bizarre. It's like, I don't remember ordering this. Yeah, I know it's funny to everyone else, but I didn't really find the humor in it.
Yeah, I don't see it as humorous either.
It's like, I bought this product so and so, and instead of getting this so said product, I got something else. Never got so said product. Just got a refund.
Yeah, I had some similar silliness, but it wasn't that I got the wrong item. It's the item didn't come as promised. I had ordered a bunch of non-US region movies and ordered a multi-region DVD player. And when I got it, it refused to be a multi-region DVD player. So I had like $100 worth of movies I couldn't watch. And I ordered them all at the same time. It's like, I didn't get what happened. I didn't understand how the
LDG. Sorry.
So it was, yeah, I can understand the grief that one goes through when you just don't get what you ordered. And it's like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, my anticipation, my poor little heart. What's going on?
I don't know. Somebody was sleeping on the job, I guess.
Yeah, some algorithm or some computer or something.
Right.
Sleeping on the job. Because there's all robot packaging, aren't they? Oh yeah, speaking of your gaming channel.
Yeah, yes, please check out my video game channel. Thank you, Bone. I play ESO, Agatha Christie, the ABC Murderers, and right now I'm playing a PS2 game that I bought on the PS4 network, and it's called Tasmanian. No. Why am I always getting mixed up with that name?
Tasmanian?
Tasmanian, yeah. Thank you, Stefan. I always get tripped up with that.
I don't know.
Word.
That was part of the whole
media blows.
Ratchet Bandicoot
I have to strongly disagree, LDG. I think everybody should, still get physical media and stuff because, well, for example, Disney likes to, re-edit their stuff on streaming sites. So,
yeah,
that's one of the reasons I like to, that's one reason I love physical media. But don't get me wrong, I also love streaming services too. I guess you could say there's pros and cons to both.
Well, considering that most people are now certifying, bagging, or bricking their comic books, most people read comic books online so they don't have to touch their precious comic books. So there's that element too. Like my DVDs are all safe. And the only time I need to watch them is if it's not available online.
Hey, Potato.
Hey, Potato. So there's that aspect as well. You can keep your discs fresher by watching more media online, but you always have the original version on disc or tape. I have some movies that aren't available on disc at all and are only available on VHS. Uh, Several
Hmm.
old movies, they just never transferred over. The copyrights were thrown away, and the movie is pretty much lost media unless you own it on VHS.
I do
So,
have VHS tapes, mostly Dragon Ball Z though.
mm, yeah, some movie. There's a you've heard of Lane, Serial Experiment, the
No, I'm
anime,
not familiar with it.
but it was this anime series from the mid to late '90s, and it came out on VHS before it, DVD was even available, and I own the whole set on VHS, which is a rarity. They actually came with little stickers that you could put on each of the cassettes, so that was kind of fun. And they're still on their tabs, all the stickers.
Hmm.
So there's that aspect to it as well that weren't available with the DVDs. Um, and that show didn't go on to DVD officially until almost Blu-ray came out. So my VHS copy was the only way to get it for a long time. There's
Hmm.
yeah, especially with anime, it was difficult for a long period of time because there was this weird media transfer from VHS to DVD.
Hello.
Hello,
Hmm.
Potato.
Hey,
How are you
Potato.
guys?
Play
So,
Good.
Overwatch? I heard of that game. I'm not familiar with it. It's the same thing with Fortnite. I really don't get those games, to be honest.
yeah. So with my TV company, if you buy a movie on their, like, say, I buy some movies, right? So say I buy a movie, they'll send you the DVD,
Oh,
like the
nice.
Blu-ray.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey, Hector. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
All right.
Well, I don't know where Dalek is. I don't really want to start
it's
without
20
him.
past 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
He was streaming up to an hour ago. He may be unconscious.
Hey, Sapphire Elf.
Nice.
Well, is he still alive?
No.
He's not. So he should be coming here then.
Give him a few minutes because he might be doing some with the parents or grabbing a bit to eat beforehand. Or
All right, I'll give him a few minutes and then we'll start.
yeah. But
You still
yeah.
have around 40 VHS tapes. I really
Bones
don't
is
watch them
old.
anymore, but I don't want to get them rid of them.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I need to probably go through my old VHS tapes and convert them onto DVD. Just in case.
My great uncle had a Betamax.
Nice.
Mhm.
You hear more Hector's chair than him.
Yep, there it is.
You have the visual
Maybe
trilogy of what on VHS?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Oh,
Oh
that's cool.
yes, me too. I
I
have it.
like
I have
know.
doubles of it on VHS.
The first time I watched Star Wars, I think it was The Empire Strikes Back on VHS that my dad had.
He's
I
like,
think that
come here,
was
child.
huh? I
Your
was
dad's
just a
like, come here.
kid.
Yeah.
So that was my first time, getting introduced to this Star Wars lore.
What did you think of it?
Amazing. That's what that went through my head. It's like, this is awesome.
Hmm.
Okay, I was scared I'd have to sacrifice you.
Nah. Oh, hey,
Hey, Raquel, you know what we gotta
Vin-
play?
Vin Singer, aka El Taku, aka the Weeb Pillar. My favorite Ghibli movies are Castle in the Sky and The Wind Rises. I haven't seen The Wind Rises yet, but I definitely I love Castle in the Sky. That's one of my favorite movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were gushing over it last week for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can watch it on my channel, and
A view is
check
a
it out.
view.
Yeah, and I saw you gaming on your other channel. It looked like you were doing quite well. You had a nice little chat going. And
Yeah.
were there any glitches with your streaming? Did you have any issues gaming online?
No, I didn't. Like I was like when I went to the PS4 store or the PlayStation Network store, I should say.
Mhm.
There was a PS2 game that I haven't seen or played in years, and it's called Ty the Steph
What, Transylvanian?
Tasmanian tiger, I think.
Tasmanian, that's it.
Yeah, why I always get tripped up with that word?
I don't know.
But
Don't know.
Yeah,
we'll have to talk to
so-
your therapist.
look, I've spoke to her many times about it, and I've slapped her in the head and been like, "It's Tasmanian," and she's like, "Stop hitting me!" I'm like, no!
Tasmanian.
Yeah, if she gets it wrong again, I have to put her under a lobotomy.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll help.
So I was playing that game and like these PS2 graphics just bring me back.
Guys,
Like, there was
is
just
it me?
like what?
Sorry. Is it me or is gaming on YouTube gone big again?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was just on a stream. I was just in a chat on a stream. That 70s rock fan, and their stream went down because they just watched too many of these Hammer vampire movie trailers, and they just cut the stream midstream. They were like in there. They were already 2.5 hours in, and they still cut the stream. So the whole reviewing and retrospecting on films has become almost treacherous waters unless you really do it low tech style. So gaming has become a big thing again, kind of like chill streams.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't like that you share any kind of video on your live stream. Unfortunately, sadly, but for gaming, one thing you have to keep in mind when you're gaming, go to your game settings or your PlayStation settings. Make sure the music is off for that game.
I actually do that by default. Raquel, have you played Skyrim?
No, not yet.
It's a good game. So basically, in Skyrim, you can hear the big bosses coming, right? But the battle music plays a while. So the thing is, if you turn the music off, you can hear them, and it's directional. So you turn around, and it's actually cool. Like you can pinpoint to what direction they're coming from by the loudness of the dragons roaring. So I played 4,000 hours of Skyrim because I don't know what outside looks like.
Wow, and 4,000 hours.
Yeah, I may have had a problem, but so my default in gaming is immediately go into game, turn off the music.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're streaming on YouTube, I'm not sure if it's the same thing on Twitch. Definitely make sure the gaming music is off in your settings.
Yeah. And also, if you're watching stuff in the background, make sure, like usual stream rules, make sure that your shit's turned off.
Have I seen Blue Lock? Yeah, that's the anime. I haven't seen or checked out on yet, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that one.
Blue Lock. I just saw it on my Twitter feed, and this is like, I have to check this out a little later, but I'm gonna check it now. Blue Lock. Yeah, it's a manga. So it's about I guess it's about this. So it's mostly about soccer or football. Let's see. Yeah.
If you want a weird game that you really should play, I'm thinking about recording it just for. But the music's going to be hard to get rid of just for shits and giggles. Is the KFC dating simulator?
Say what?
The KFC dating simulator?
Is that KFC as in Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Yes, sir.
Wait,
Really?
Like, there's a simulator for a dating game on the PlayStation.
It's on Steam, but I mean, like that. I said I was thinking about Steam, because I literally have it right here.
What did I see in the PlayStation store yesterday? Something about it's some kind of game of this dude trying to get laid by ladies or something like that.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
I'm like, what the heck? Is this really a game?
Yeah.
There's a lot of waifu dating, but it also goes both ways. There's also gay dating simulators and female-based simulators as well. Where
you're
pick up
familiar
I
with
don't
those,
remember the
Steven?
name of it of the game that I saw. I was like, what the heck is this?
But I've got to say, who brought up Blue Lock again? Vibzinger.
Singer.
Yeah, there's some very cute soccer players in this show. I've got to say that. I mean, these are all very handsome young men, and they seem very intense. So,
The main character has really intense blue eyes.
yeah, I mean, the whole cast is like, these guys mean business. This could actually be a really fun manga. I don't know. Is there an anime?
Speaking about anime,
Oh
wow,
yeah, there is.
Yeah, and there's also a manga.
I think after seeing Tales of the Jedi the first round, I really think that Star Wars should be given over to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the anime Star Wars, Raquel?
No, not yet, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw it. It's called Captain Harlock and Queen Amaraldus. And that was years before. So, yeah, anime does sci-fi better than anybody else. Period.
It does. Like, where I loved Captain Harlock.
Yeah, all of his incarnations. And Battleship Yamato. And, yeah, they do sci-fi the way sci-fi is supposed to be. All bets off. We're going full bore. We've got shields. We've got impossible star drives. We've got incredible aliens that are actually alien. They're not humanoid. Yeah, they do the whole gamut.
Oh, Stephen, I'd like to just say we had a discussion since like the last streamer we were on together on my channel.
Yes.
And yeah, we took your points and a few others, and we've changed the format to how it was on Friday night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that stream. I definitely am very interested in that Friday stream. I've got some ship images that I've downloaded that I'm going to bump over to you.
Yeah, sure, show them to me.
Yeah.
Raquel, we've changed the format because it used to be like point by point, and now we're going to do a general discussion, and that seems to be more fun for the panel.
Oh yeah, we were kicking around future Federation, what formats they would be, and what would the real impact if this was a legitimate series. Like really, so yeah, we got some interesting discussion going forward. But Raquel, don't let Potato take you off track. Potato, be a good boy.
Hey, I'm a potato.
I heard about Andor. At first I didn't know, that it was Star Wars related. But now I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something stupid. Andor's pointless.
How so?
Because we know what happens. There's no threat for the character.
Well, for that one character. But
yeah.
I am seeing that it is gaining an audience, and I'm quite tickled by the idea that the fandom that thought it was united is currently divided on this show, and they're all arguing with each other. So I find it all really hysterical that anybody's even bothering with the whole thing, but yeah, I'm really glad that part of the fandom has found a new show to actually adore, because it is hitting some buttons on some people, and in a good way. And House of Dragons is just killing it, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, I haven't really stayed catch up with House of Dragons. I'm thinking I left off on episode 5, so I'm a little bit behind. But yeah, I'm definitely hearing good things about House of Dragons. I'm loving it so far. It's better from what I'm hearing about from Rings of Power, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There is a weird divide, especially on Twitter. Have you noticed this, Stephen? It's either Rings of Power or Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the fandom is definitely in a mess right now because there's really nothing to like. So people are trying to cope. There's a lot of copium being ingested at this point. Hector, I'm very curious. Any opinions on any of these subjects?
Not really.
Uh-oh.
What?
Raquel, what else?
What?
Spoilers? You need to be warned for episode 8.
Well, yeah, my friend Dio did give me a warning that it does go into a time skip.
No. Sensitive stomach.
Oh, yeah, it gets gruesome from what I understand, but that's whole part of the whole universe is kind of gruesome.
I think I can take it, but thanks for the heads up about episode 8.
Yeah,
it gets the time skips, from what I understand, are all legitimate, and they're well founded to the story material. Those are the reviews I've been hearing. So.
Yeah, the whole thing's meant to take place over 30 years, and they're doing time skip. Between episode 7 and episode 8 is 6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright. I don't know what Darlick is doing. Can anyone get a hold of him somehow?
I can try boop him on Discord. Oh my god, there's a bus full of huskies. Okay.
Because it's been almost like 30 minutes and, I just want to get started and stuff.
Indeed. Well, while we're working
I know he wants to talk about Spirited Away, and I don't really want to start off.
Yeah, I agree. He seemed really excited about it, even when I talked to him about it on his earlier stream this morning. So, he was into it. I don't know if his last stream tuckered him out or not, but I think he would be disappointed if we didn't give him a fair shake at least.
Yeah, you did tell him the time, didn't you, Stefan?
Yeah, well, and he's well aware that it was going to be tonight.
He's also subscribed to you, and when I logged on, to YouTube, since you set it up, I've seen it. So I mean, it's plenty. He's been warned plenty of times.
I think he's just a little distracted by his illness and whatever else is going on. I
know he's not feeling well. I get that. But geez, I don't know what to do now. I know he's really excited to talk about this, but.
Well, I think that you and I, Raquel, should interrogate Hector. He's being far too quiet down there. What is your business here? What is with Milkshake? We need to have these questions answered immediately.
I don't know. Ask Brad.
Would you like me to take your temperature? It will be exhilarating.
Brad gave me the name.
Oh. Brett gave you the name?
Yep.
I have a weird question. What's your favorite anime from the 90s? Raquel Dragon Ball don't count.
Dang it, you beat me to it. I have to say Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay. Raquel, I may want to talk to you in DMs in a while. I don't know when, because my friend Farv wants to start up doing an anime thing you might be interested in.
Okay, yeah, talk to me about it later.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I cannot believe I'm sorry. I just Googled 90s anime just to kind of refresh my own memory. And why
came up?
is the movie Fifth Element and Futurama in the sci-fi anime list? What's going on? Where's my definition of the word? What is
okay,
happening?
because
Futurama. I don't really consider Futurama anime.
No, it's not.
Futurama is a cartoon.
Yeah. It's American. Yeah, but neither is season 3 of Batman. Google, what's going on here? No, Outlaw Star was my big surprise.
Raquel, guys, I'm going to say a word and see do you guys remember this being used when we were kids. Japanimation.
Yep, I remember it being told that way for a long time.
Japanimation. Yeah, my number.
But when I saw Outlaw Star for the first time, I was completely blown away that it became as gigantic. It looked like it was just going to be a silly, slightly serious sci-fi, and then it just kept mounting and mounting and mounting, and by the end of it, you're like, oh my god, a whole quadrant of the galaxy is involved in this silly story. It's absolutely incredible. And then God shows up and everything. It's just classic anime, always surprising you in the climax. Like, wow, what a show.
Monster Ranchers.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember watching that one.
Yeah. That show was used to sell so many PlayStations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trigun is another big one for me.
Oh yeah, Trigun. Rudy Kenshin. Big O.
Oh my god, Big O. God, such a good show.
Metabots?
Never, I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, Gundam Wing.
How about Card Captor Sakura?
Oh my god.
I haven't gotten into that one.
At Comic-Con, they sell the packs of cards for €52 of the Card Captor Sakura, and they also sell her staff, and the staff has a little keychain for €110. They come together, and I'm just looking, and I'm like, am I too straight for this?
Nice. I'm not. I have no issues. I don't get squeamish about that stuff at all. That is the most adorable show that remains high jeopardy the entire run of the show. It never stops putting her in jeopardy. Like, there are episodes that are a little creepy. There are episodes that are absolutely fantastically adorable. And then there are episodes that are like, oh my God, I can't believe they all survived. Wow, wow, that got really scary. Like, I really thought they were all in danger because they were really treacherous villains afoot.
Raquel, may I share my screen for an image?
Okay.
Present. I present to you Metabots. Oh.
TikTok. Oh, nice.
Does it
okay.
remember in anyone's head?
Never saw this one.
Nope.
It is literally, it's like a mixture of Pokemon, a mixture of Beyblades, and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay.
Classic anime tropes.
Yeah.
Hector, your avatar is like a white dot. You might have to refresh your avatar.
Is my avatar okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know for some odd reason StreamYards does that.
It's still white.
Give it a sec.
Here's a stupid question for you. What anime did you watch once and say, I'm never watching this again?
I'm thinking.
Still a white dot, sir.
Just change out your avatar. Go to a blank one and then go back.
No, it's an anime I've seen and just lost interest.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Let me try something.
Actually.
Uh-oh, we lost him. We lost Hector.
He's gonna come back in, I think. I'm trying to think. I don't remember the name, but there were a couple that I was just like, wow, this is just bottom of the barrel writing, guys. I'm not really sure what you guys were trying to achieve, but it was a lot of characters like standing still and talking for like almost the whole show, and it never turned into anything.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
Prince of Tennis and Gintama. I'm like, this is boring.
But there were so many great ones. I'm just looking through the list right now. The entire Tenchi Moyu series was all through the 90s. So good. Most of the movies too.
Most of my anime experience is literally Pokemon. Because they removed anime entirely from viewing syndication in my country.
Aw, man.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, they put it on a channel called Jetix, which was on satellite. You remember Jetix?
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't that on Disney Channel though?
Not over here.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. There was one in 1997 called Eat Man, and I was just like, okay, I watched a handful of episodes, and I'm just like, yeah, pass.
So this might interest you guys as anime fans. I want to get into true crime on my channel, but one of them involves an anime. Yeah, a Japanese cult made an anime, and it's fucking cringy as hell.
Okay, good grief.
I want to get my hands on that.
There's an anime called Monster that is not a true crime, but is based on a true period in history in East Germany. And it gets a little crazy. It comes really, really close to almost being a documentary about something that may have happened, but it's really, really grounded, like almost the way like Mushishi is really grounded. Has anybody seen that one?
No.
Ooh, that's really, really good too. Just absolutely delicious. Early 20th century, 21st century.
Sir, this is still the 12th century.
Oh, don't get all, prehistory on me there. I know somebody named who's an archery. He does battle recreations, and he actually got invited to a wedding in full gear, and the wedding is like a Renaissance wedding, so he's one of the archers for the wedding, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So he says every time he goes on one of these things, he's like, yeah, I've been time traveling this weekend. I ate smoked foods and stewed vegetables, and
that'd make a hilarious YouTube short. Like you see him and he's like this archer or something. Like, say for talk's sake, he's wearing clothes like you are in your icon, Stephen, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're there and you're like, just say his name, show you're like, Joey, and you're standing there with ice creams in your hand and you're looking around. And next thing all you hear is like poof, and you see him in full like Renaissance archery gear, and you're like, where the hell were you? I don't know.
Well, I don't know what Dalek is doing. He might have, passed out because he's not feeling well.
Well,
Dalek
will be here in spirit.
Yes, he'll be here in spirit. I know he wanted to talk about Spirit Away with us, but seems like he's incognito at the moment. So we're just gonna start off with Spirited Away.
Oh, my favorite anime, the one that brought me into Studio Ghibli. I love that.
All right, let me go to the slide here. I think we left off
right there.
Here. Yep, here we go.
And in the name of Dalek, I will say, I love this show. I love this show. I love this show. I love this show.
Now,
Did
this
he?
is one of the Ghibli films I haven't seen yet. I know I heard good things about it. I have to say it's like on par of the Akira film, uh, most likely. I think it's from 2001.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But I know I haven't watched the movie, but from the trailer I have seen,
It's
her,
stunning.
I guess her family are taking a vacation, and her family visited this place. And
So can I just?
Dialect's here.
Hey!
Good timing,
We
sir.
have summoned
I
him.
summoned him with my voice.
Finally, I got here.
We just got started, sir. You're just in time. We were waiting.
Oh,
I have some fun background information on why this movie was even made.
Oh yeah.
So Miyazaki turned around. He's got a daughter, and she was 10 at the age. Like he said she is her, right? And he said that there was no female anime characters of his daughter's age that were just regular kids. They always had big powers. They could always defend themselves, or they were going on. He said so. He decided to make Spirited Away for his daughter. This is a love letter to his daughter.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Welcome, Dialect. Like we're almost gonna start without you, but I'm glad you're here, though.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got held up because after I ended trying to get around to ending my stream for one thing, and then afterwards I ended up into a really long conversation with someone backstage, and so it was only just now I was finally able to end that, and it looks like I got here literally in the nick of time to start talking about this.
yes, right on cue. But well, I was going to say, for what I see from the trailer, it seems that her parents go to this place for vacation, and I guess her parents get turned into pigs.
No.
They're not there for vacation. They're not there for vacation. They're moving.
No.
They're moving to a new town in the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're moving in a new town.
They're moving to and when they're driving along, they find an abandoned park, which it's stated in the movie, is one of the things left over from the Japanese recession of the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
Right? He said they put these things everywhere, and then they go in, and when they go in, they're exploring and everything, and they find a bridge and they cross over. You want to take over, Dalek?
Yeah. They come out they find this this tunnel in the middle of the woods because like the car, because like I think was it Chihiro's dad is like taking a shortcut or something, and
yeah, he was like driving really like, dude, you need to stop having a license, man.
Yeah, he was driving like a madman.
Yeah. Like, she was, like, holding this plant in the back seat because she left all of her friends. She's 10. So she left all of her friends in school and she was crying. And they, like, bounced this plant around that... I'm like, that plant is dead now.
Well, she had a bouquet of flowers in her hand. From this...
Her dad enjoyed that road too much. But one of the things they really did beautifully in this movie before they went to the park is because they knew this movie was going to a Western audience. Chihiro was like, "What's this? What's this? What's this?" Well, this is a house for the little kami, the little guardian gods of the forest. Now, when you see him, you clap your hands, you bow your head, and you give him offerings. Come on, Chihiro. And then he did it, and she's there, and she is. He's like, "Thank you, gods," and she's like, "Thank you so much." It's actually quite really lovely of Japanese culture.
Yeah, that is something in the English dub of this, that is something they did. Like in the very opening shot of the film, we see this bouquet of flowers in Chihiro's hand, and we see this little card from this old friend of hers, and in the English dub, we hear Chihiro read the card, but you don't hear that in the Japanese version because obviously if it was showing this in Japan, the people watching it, they'd be able to read it because they could read Japanese. Obviously.
Yeah, Dalek, do you know who voiced her?
Yeah, DeVay Chase.
No, they redubbed her.
What?
Yeah, there's two dubs.
No.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning.
Oh, come on.
At the age of 10. We're talking years ago.
No, it was...
There's two...
When did this happen?
2002.
No, I know this for a fact. It was DeVay Chase who voiced Chihiro.
That's the popular one. The unpopular one was Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Anime's weird.
Oh, good night, Hector. Thanks for coming on.
Well, the DVD I've got of this film, it's DeVay Chase.
Yeah, I've got that as well. But it's
I cannot believe that.
I can believe it. It's obviously a copyright thing.
Yeah, like there was one studio.
I'm sorry, I'm Raven, but like
no worries.
The other Ghibli films that we talked about last week, some of them did have second dubs.
Yeah, so the big popular, the award-winning one is the second dub, because the first dub wasn't, like, hey, she could have done that line a bit better or something like that. So they went in and they rehired Chase, is it Dalek?
DeVay Chase, yeah.
Yeah, they went in and they completely redid the entire cast, and it came out with an Oscar. Also, weird question, how's my audio?
DeVay Chase was the one who... DeVay Chase was the original voice of Lilo. Dakota Fanning was the second voice.
Yeah.
Right, that's what he's saying.
Oh, Dalek, you a Lilo and Stitch fan?
Oh, I adored Lilo and Stitch.
It was announced today that the Lilo and Stitch sequel anime is going to feature Lilo's daughter, and we're going to see a grown-up Lilo.
Oh, no way. I thought that was...
They literally showed grown-up Lilo.
I thought that was all over, the Lilo and Stitch stuff. I mean, I know there's like... There was the first movie, then there was a couple of straight-to-DVD stuff, and then they did the TV series, and then they wrapped
anime
things up.
Now.
Yeah, I know there's a Stitch anime.
Yeah, but anyway. Speaking about, sorry,
and I also heard about. I think they're doing another one set in China this time.
So when they cross over the little bridge, they're all like, "Oh, what's this?" Because they find what looks to be a Japanese. Raquel, are you familiar with Japanese culture?
A little bit, not fully though.
Okay, so Japan has all these festivals for gods and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
they do. Yeah.
So they go in and it looks like one of those, like generic Japanese festival. There's lights hanging up, there's stalls with food, but there's nobodies. No.
No?
No.
Did you say, Raquel, did you say you've never seen this film?
No.
Yes.
Well.
Yes. What am I thinking?
Well, trust it. You have to see this film. It's a masterpiece. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do have to see this film. I heard nothing but good things about it. It's like on par on the Akira film. Yeah, I would definitely like to do.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely like to do a watch party on this.
Hell yeah, we'll do it. Screw, we can do it on my. We can do it on on my Discord.
Do a watch party watching this Spirited Away. Oh yes.
Yeah, I can stream it for us. I've got Netflix. I can stream it for us.
We should absolutely do that.
Oh, I can do that too. But I was figuring if everyone if we can agree on a day and time, yeah, we can definitely do a watch party on my channel.
Any Sunday I'm free.
Any Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, pick a Sunday. I'll be there. I'll drag Alec if I have to.
Okay.
So they go. Okay, so they're there, and the father and mother went from being loving parents all of a sudden, right, to obnoxious and greedy. And they're like, "Hey, look at all this food." Now,
is that when they get turned into pigs?
Yes, indeed.
The moment they started eating the food, they just became complete gluttons.
Gluttons. Not even that, Alec. I'd even debate that as soon as they got to where they were going. Like, because Sorry?
Yeah, they were being drawn in by consumerism. Yeah. And there's a period of history in Japan that, yes, they had these festivals, but there was also these rashes of amusement parks, and many of them went out of business. And that's what they thought this place was one of those abandoned amusement parks.
That's what they say in the film. That's what they thought, yeah.
I know Disney tried a few, and a bunch of other. I think Six Flags tried to do a festival amusement park in Japan.
They're still doing it. They're still doing them now, Stephen. There's Pokemon Land, Attack on Titan Land, Dragon Ball Land. I can hear Raquel frantically looking up tickets to Japan.
Are they doing like a little in Japan? Are they I don't know if this is in progress or not. Like a little Studio Ghibli amusement park.
Yes, and I think it just opened just recently, and it looks quite magical. It's inset in a forest, so it stays with the tropes of all the Ghibli films, which is ecology.
Man, that sounds amazing.
There are live action versions of a lot of the set pieces.
Oh, I would love to go to Japan just for that. That sounds amazing.
Well, so are any of you from anyway because of the the culture. I love the culture.
If I ever get huge,
I want to visit. I really want to visit Japan.
If I ever get huge, I'm going to bring a couple of us to Japan, and we're going to do a Nerds Travel Japan streams.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So to get back on topic.
Yeah. Are any of you familiar with Japanese religion?
Hold on.
No.
Let's get back on topic. Go ahead, Raquel.
I am. There's a reason why I'm saying this.
Oh.
Okay.
So the Japanese death god, when the spirits die, you get a drink of water. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if you eat or drink from the land of the dead, you cannot return to the living. So, and you also cannot steal from a god.
So, what happens if you do?
They got turned into pigs. Because all this area is entirely populated by kami, which are low-level gods. You have like we call them spirits, but in Japan they're gods. It's like river gods, forest gods, tree gods, rock gods, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Kami is the Japanese word for god. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Or it's part of animatism, I think it's called. Shinto, basically. Yeah, everything is alive, including the rocks, the trees. This is what Yoda's talking about in Empire Strikes Back. It's the trees, the rocks, the forces everywhere. So. Yeah, that
so
comes from...
So as you can see in the background of this picture, all the people in there, including the human-looking ones, are all gods. And the ones who are servers are the lowest level. They're just like souls at that stage.
So the boy that I see in the trailer, he's the dragon. He's a god.
He is a river god.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. He's a spirit from a river, or a god from a river. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoiler alert from a movie from 2001.
Well, she still hasn't seen it yet.
No, I only seen the trailer. That's about it.
Raquel, are you okay with us going into this much detail?
Because obviously, Because obviously we know that. Because obviously we know this film inside out.
I mean, I guess you can talk about from the trailer itself.
I'm going to make a joke just for Steven and Dalek. Giant baby go, wow. There is a beautiful thing that's after coming out of Spirited Away. No face. That, Raquel, that is the black spirit with a white face that goes,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no face, yeah.
So at Comic-Cons, people, and Mythbusters, there's a beautiful video called Why I Cosplay. And Adam from Mythbusters, Adam Savage, was talking about when he went to Comic-Con, he dressed up as No Face. And he'd go, say he met you, Raquel, or Dalek, or Steven, right? He'd go, and he'd give you chocolate, like in the shape of a Japanese gold coin.
Right.
And so people would take it, and they'd go and they'd walk off, and they'd put their hands together and thank you like you'd thank a Japanese god. But he said people would walk back, and they'd give him back the chocolate, close his hand, and just walk away. He's like, why isn't anyone taking these? Like, what did I do? And he turned around and he saw a guy walking with his hands up, like wiping his hands. He's like, nope, because you don't take anything from No Face. Isn't that right, Dalek? You do not take gold from No Face.
No, you don't, because if you take No Face's gold, well, you just become consumed by greed, and then he just won't leave, and he just becomes like, he just I mean, when you saw what happened with No Face, he just became
fat.
He became everyone just became just started bowing down to him and becoming his servant for just so they can get more gold, and he would just eat and eat and eat, and he got bigger and bigger and bigger and fatter and fatter and fatter, and eventually, I think he actually went, well, he kind of went insane, and he just
Brett?
And then he just starts eating the people inside the bathhouse.
Yeah, one has to assume that there's a theme through this particular feature that has to do with consumption, because the parents are consumed by their adventure, then they're consuming the food.
The only person who wouldn't take No Face's gold was Chihiro.
Yeah, and she was warned by the girl not to. But one of the names really confuses me because it's not Japanese.
Her name is Lynn.
Yeah. There's one name throughout all this movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Yubaba.
Just one name. Yeah, Yubaba. Baba's not Japanese name. Baba is Russian.
Yep. And she plays a very Russian character, actually.
She does, and there's even... Go ahead.
Is she the witch that says in the trailer that Chihiro's name belongs to her now?
Yes, that's Yubaba. Yes.
Okay.
Which is a very interesting spell, because as soon as your name is taken away... Like, Raquel, I'm going to give you a fake last name, okay? So just say your name is Raquel Anderson. Just say. Right?
Okay.
And I'm like, your name belongs to me. Your name is now Cora. And Dalek is a spirit. And so Steven. They will walk up to you and they'll be like, hey, Cora. So in your soul, in your being, you literally start forgetting who you are. You start forgetting your cats, your siblings, your YouTube channel, your PlayStation, your parents, your friends, and all you can think about is working for me.
Right, which is another form of consumption. You get consumed by what people call you, and she's moving to a new town, so the theme works good with that because she's afraid of losing her identity with her old friends. She's about to go and earn new nicknames, earn new periods of her life in history. And so it is really interesting. The film, like all Ghibli movies, has so many other layers of interpretation. It's quite fantastic, especially with a Western eye.
I do believe that this movie was taken from the opinion of a father, like Miyazaki himself, who survived the Japanese crash and saw everyone absolutely obsessed with consumerism. If any of you ever see the lifestyle pictures from Japan in the 1980s, they're all like drinking wine. They're all fast cars, fast women, fast food. They lost what it meant to be Japanese, and that's what this is a warning letter to. It's like, don't be them. They destroyed the country. You need to remember who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's got to be the third or fourth time Japan has gone through such a thing. Because during the early industrial period, there was also massive identity loss in Japan because they were militarizing. And they got into World War II. And then in the 50s and 60s, they kind of regained some Japaneseisms. And then again, in the late 90s, again, they Japaneseism, that's when the samurai film became super popular again, because they were trying to go back to an older form of Japan now that they were finding themselves. Which is why films like this came into existence. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. In my country, there's a lot of emphasis on the rebel spirit. Like, there's old saying, rebel stock has now come back into fashion again. It's like, don't forget your rebel stock, boy. Like, don't forget your ancestors.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we want to say anything else about this film before we move along?
I do, but it's too much spoil. I want to talk about this movie so much, but I don't want to ruin it for you.
We haven't even spoken about not even half the stuff in this film.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it.
So spoilers are okay?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, Raquel, I promise we will still watch this and you will still love this.
Okay.
If you don't, you can have Dalek's tricycle. So...
nah, I'm good.
Okay. So, then she goes in and she meets... the Boiler Man. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has all these little soot creatures that he brought to life.
Before she meets the Boiler Man, she there's this whole thing with Q having to sneak her into the bathhouse and all.
Yes,
and all that.
So the whole place is on a ferry. It's on and it's a Japanese bathhouse. Like
yeah.
The only way I could describe it is it's fit for royalty because it's catering to gods. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, because it's a very special place where the most powerful gods come to relax.
Yeah, and going on what Steven said about like consumerism, there's one spirit, and they're like, "Oh no, he's coming!" Everyone, and they start getting like they start like doing all this pumping a bath and everything, and this big sludge monster comes in.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And it turns out that this sludge monster is an environment spirit. It's after being tainted and corrupted by pollution and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So it has to go to this bathhouse to be washed. That's not No Face, is it?
No, it's not.
No, that's not No Face.
Yeah, and then afterwards, I forget what it turns into, but it went from this horrible thing to this really beautiful looking thing.
Yeah.
That kind of nutshells what the whole thing is all about.
It was like a giant snake or like a dragon's kind of thing
It was a dragon, one of the highest level of gods on this side of heaven.
Yeah.
Which also, in a way, goes to one of the... Because if you guys remember, Hero was watching the dragon. when he came out, like he immediately looked at the dragon because you're like, oh, he was just looking at the dragon, but then later on, when you find out he is one, maybe
you mean Haku?
Sorry, Haku.
Yes.
Was looking at it. Maybe in his own way, he was remembering who he is. It'd be like when you guys forgetting your entire memories, and then you see like me and Dalek and Steven stand in front of you, Raquel, and you're standing there and you're thinking your name is now Amy, and you're like, wait, I know those guys. It's like this movie has a lot of really deep metaphors. But so she has to turn out get a job. And she also has to remember who she is.
Yeah, she has
her name, right?
To ensure her survival, she needs to get a job at the bathhouse, and also the second thing is that she must never let herself forget her true name.
Or breathe.
Hey, Sakurai.
And then she had to hold her breath while Haku took her across the bridge. Otherwise, all the spirits would see her.
Yeah, which is actually because Haku, when he's bringing her along, how she gets discovered is Haku gets talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she can't hold her breath for that long. She goes, and Lynn goes, "You're a human."
Right. The little frog and Dragon Boy goes ahead and freezes him in midair.
Well, the little frog thing, that wasn't Lynn.
Yeah. But Lynn, she was there in front of Lynn as well, and Lynn was just the antithesis of, I'm done with this job.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was her whole thing. She was just like that was like this is a conversation between her and Chihiro, and she later on, and she's saying like, one of these days I'm gonna get on that train.
Mm-hmm. That train, Raquel, is it's a Western interpretation, but it's basically one of these days I'm just going to get to heaven.
Yeah, there is definitely an afterlife kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
Because they visit like... Go ahead.
That's cool, Sakurai. I'm not
awesome,
sure
man.
I'm not sure what.
Spirited Away, great, good for you.
I'm not sure what Gamefly is though.
So, seeing that Lynn is the only other human, right? Do you think Lynn was in?
Well, she looks human, but I don't know if she actually is human.
I think she was human.
Yeah, I think that we could safely say that at some point in time, she was in the little girl's shoes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And got lost in the whole atmosphere. So she's almost a cautionary tale.
So she's I see. So you think she was in the same boat as Chihiro, and she had her name taken she forgot who she was originally.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's that common fantasy sci-fi trope of where you see someone with the same powers as you or whatever, but went to the dark side. It's like, don't become me.
Right, yeah. The cautionary tale. Anime does this a lot, where they're usually, you can spot all the other alternate realities, so to speak, living within the storyline. You know, all the things she shouldn't do are all the characters that surround her, so to speak.
But one of the things I love is she's a kid. She acts like a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like she is a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's not going like jumping around. I will save you, like doing big No, there's like one point where she gets scared and she's like forgetting who she is and she starts to cry, like a genuine little kid.
She does, yeah. And when her parents were starting to go, got to give in to their desires about just stuffing their faces all the food, she was like, "Come on, you guys, you can't." And she was the only one being cautious, and which is what a young girl like her would do.
Yeah. And when she tried to help the soot creatures in the boiler room.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, and they got lazy. And which is another caution thing. It's like, be careful who you help.
Which is, the boiler. Yeah, after she does that, after she helps them out, the boiler man, Kamaji, he just
yes.
He says to her, if they get lazy, if they don't work, they turn back into soot.
Yeah, because they were bringing coal out because the whole place was Greta Thunberg's hellhole, and basically they bring coal out and they burn it. He worked in the boiler, so they were working with coal.
Yeah.
Good night, Bone.
Night, Bone. God bless. And they turn but the thing is, when she starts carrying over a big lump of coal to the boiler to prove that she can work, she takes it from a little soot creature whose little legs give it. They're really adorable. And then all the soot creatures look at her, and they all start dropping the coal. And the boiler man starts banging and says, hey, don't do that. And that's when he says, if they stop working, they turn to dust.
Yeah, and then he also informs her that, don't take somebody else's job away from them, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does say that. You can't just come in here and take someone else's job. Now get back to work.
I love him. And he then, which says something interesting, she's my granddaughter, which implies he's got a load of kids.
Oh, that's right. Once Lynn comes in, he covers for Chihiro by saying she's my granddaughter.
Which does imply that Lynn knows he's got kids.
Right.
And I'm like, because that's the thing. It's like, from our Western culture, we're like, how can he have kids? But in their culture, it's like, oh yeah, he's a god. Pops out more gods.
Yeah, I mean, the gods have dozens and dozens of children, because, there's a father and a mother of the forest, but all the separate incarnations of every plant in the forest are one of their child gods.
Yeah.
Because it has to do with, Aristotle's philosophy of forms, or the Greek philosophy of forms. That's really what animism is. They were just trying to turn it into science. But it's kind of the same thing.
The Japanese, their water god, like this, one of the most powerful gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
His children are literally the rain, the ocean. He's the ocean, but he's not just the ocean. He's the god of all water and weather, lightning, but his children are the rain, the northwest season, the south rain, the monsoons,
right? Yeah, that's where the image of cloud comes from.
Yeah. And it's all these little things that's there, and there's like a statue, and someone turned around, and it's like, if you have a little puddle, if there's a puddle on the ground, that's one of his children after stepping there.
Right. Yep.
So all these people are there, and if you actually notice, there are a lot of gods in there. Like, there's one of them, like, as they're passing by, where all of them, where all the helpers, and there's this big man with a big black beard, just don't say anybody's in the back, but there's a load of helpers around him and people are bound to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the king of the gods.
Oh, you're talking about the character from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, the guy who looks like him. Yeah, he's the king of the gods.
Who's the king of the gods?
Okay, you remember in the bathhouse when she was walking by? It's in one of the baths. He doesn't speak, but he's in the bath. There's a load of people bowing and kneeling to him, and he has more helpers than anyone with towels, food, drink, in just one scene.
I think I know what you're talking
Big,
about.
huge guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the king of the gods. That's why he has more helpers, because he's literally their king.
That's why everybody was running around trying to tending to him.
Yeah, because he's literally the king is here. So, yeah. It's all those little details that are in the back of this. And then, which is really, really interesting, because, after she makes the deal with Baba Yaga.
Yubaba.
Yubaba. She then discovers Yubaba's baby. Baby going,
Oh yes. Oh yeah, the baby.
It's about 15 foot tall.
Well, I have an explanation as to why Yubaba's even in this movie.
Okay.
And there's because of the history between far eastern Russia and its connection to Japanese history. There's a huge Japanese audience. There were people living in eastern Russia during World War II on the mainland of Russia. There was a Japanese colony for a brief period of time. And there is some history there. And there's a huge audience in Eastern Europe for anime. And it may have been trying to cater to that a little bit.
There are still some people in parts of really Eastern Russia, basically touching Japan, whose first language is Japanese, second language is Russian.
Mm-hmm.
They learn them both equally.
That's cool.
Yeah. So in the movie, like, she has this guy. He's a bit like aloof, standoffish. What's his name, Dalek?
Guy's standoffish.
No. Her friend who turns into the dragon.
Haku.
Haku. So Haku keeps warning her about Baba Yaga. He warns her about the world and everything. And he's like, you've only got till tomorrow to find your parents. Like, they basically help him. And there's this really...
I think he said something. I think he said something like she only had 3 days
until the new moon. 24 hours human time, 3 days our time.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, because they're in a different world, you see.
Yeah, right.
And actually, which doesn't make sense for the English dub, but he points at the moon.
Well, it does if you know anything about the 2.5 day cycle of the moon. So it does make a hell of a lot of sense. And spiritualists will reconfirm it that the moon is a mnemonic reflection point in most mystical arts in the European community. Where the moon has to do with memory, it has to do with maternity and the love of a mother, and with your own reflected identity as a child. It's the earliest form before you become an adolescent in the astrological circle as well.
Yeah, in Irish culture, the moon is basically the doorway to heaven.
Yeah,
but in Japanese culture, it's heaven. Like, moves over. So when he's like, you've got 3 days points at the moon, he's also saying, yeah, you've got until heaven's like right above us. You won't be able to go anywhere. But they go on an adventure, like, cause I forget how, but they end up switching the big baby and a rat. The rat turns into the baby, and the baby turns into a really cute little fat rat.
That's yes, that does happen.
The baby becomes a crow, or no? The baby becomes a rat, and the rat becomes a crow.
No. There was this pet crow of Yubaba's, which like gets turned into like a tiny little fly-like creature. And then Yubaba's baby gets turned into like a little cute pudgy mouse or rat.
Yeah. Dalek, they actually sell him at Comic-Con, so if I go there, I'm going to buy him for you, and if I do go there, I'll get him for you.
Thanks.
He's a beanbag. It's fucking adorable. But
language.
Sorry.
It's okay. So how does she get out of her predicament?
So she has to go. She goes on the train because Dalek, the name, because I keep calling her Baba Yaga.
Yubaba.
Sorry, Dalek. So Yubaba has a twin sister, who's a good witch, because Yubaba is a bad witch.
Yeah, and the sister, there are twins called Zaniba.
Yeah, Dalek, you want to take over from here? Alright, Steven?
Let's go. Go ahead, Dalek.
After the whole thing with after the whole thing, after she goes up to I think she went up to like to confront Yubaba or something like that. What happened? Yeah, and what happened?
She has to take the train because the twin sister has this magic spell that'll help her remember and be able to get out of the predicament. Because she's reverse of Baba Yaga.
I give up.
You okay, Dalek?
I give up.
Okay, sorry.
Trying to correct you on the name.
I think we've covered quite a bit of this show, and before we go making it a terrible nightmare of tedium.
Yeah, like, so how does she
Okay, all right. I'll try and explain it. Basically, after the whole mess with No Face, is sorted out because she actually leads him out of the bathhouse after giving him this basically giving him, I think it was something to give to cure him after being consumed by
because he basically becomes a big giant monster that just has almost eaten everybody in the bathhouse.
He becomes a monster, and so she leads him out of the bathhouse, and once he's out, he literally vomits up everything and everyone he's eaten, and until he's back to normal, and then after that, he goes with Chihiro. He catches the train and to go and see Zeniba, and then it's also and I think she also wanted to go see her because Haku was had a curse put on him and he was dying and she wanted to go and see Zeniba to get the curse removed to try and save his life, and then when she got there, Zeniba explains that the curse had already been lifted. So there's
a lot of magic that occurs during the climax that basically isn't really magical. It's more like everybody just went to a happy place and the problem is solved, so to speak.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything she thought, the reason she went to see Zeniba in the first place, it turned out to solve the problem that needed to be solved. It turned out that there was no problem. It was already, because Zeniba explains that Haku was fine and the baby and could turn back into a baby whenever he wanted.
But her parents were still pigs at this stage.
Her parents were still pigs. Yeah,
and that's when she faces the final boss, which is
basically her final trial is like to figure out. Yeah, she goes to confront Yubaba, and the deal is she gets shown a pen full of pigs, and then she has to figure out which of those pigs are her parents.
Yep. And that's all she needs to solve the puzzle. It's like another Ghibli film that we're about to get into as well. It's very similar.
But do you want me? I probably shouldn't give away what happens. What's Chihiro's answer? What Chihiro's answer is.
Yeah, I think we could leave a little bit of magic.
Let's leave a little bit of mystery.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, So the next film is The Cat Returns.
Right.
Yes. Now, this is like a spin-off / sequel to Whisper of the Heart. So, this is Shikaku's story that she's trying to tell in the Whisper of the Heart movie. And it's called The Cat Returns. Now, it
Right.
starts with this character named Haru, a shy high school student that has an ability to talk to cats. So she saves this cat from being hit by a truck on a busy road.
Yeah.
And it turns out this cat can talk, and he is the prince of the cat kingdom.
Oh, I remember this.
So later that night at her house, a parade of cats comes by and gives her catnip and stuff. She meets the prince king, his dad, and is offered the princess hand in marriage, which she kind of gives a yes to. But she regrets it later. So she gets directions to go to the cat bureau. So she meets the Baron. I think
the Baron.
Yeah, the Baron. Yes, the Baron, who is voiced by Carrie Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's the little cat figure that we see in the Whisper of the Heart. That's the Baron.
Yeah, that's the Baron.
Mm-hmm. And he comes to life when the sun sets, including a raven, a stone raven. I think the raven's name is Toto or something like that, and also a very fat cat. I forget his name. Muta. Yes, Muta. So they're inside the Baron's little house, and having tea and crumpets, and all of a sudden, these parade of cats abduct Haru and take her to the cat kingdom to be offered in her hand of marriage to the cat prince. So I'm guessing she is treated to this grand feast of the castle of the Cat King. And I'm guessing if you eat anything at the Cat Kingdom, you certainly turn into a cat.
Right.
Yeah, because she does start turning into a cat, yeah.
That was a very weird thing.
Yeah, it goes on a bit of a almost psychedelic romp by the end of it. Some notables in the cast for the American dub were Anne Hathaway as the lead, and
really?
Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride.
Lewis? Was it Lewis though? Carrie Lewis? Lewis?
No, I've heard it Elways.
Elways? Okay.
Elways and Tim Curry as the Cat King.
Oh, nice.
Tim Curry was all of our childhoods.
Oh, and absolutely.
Except for whatever Daleks have when they're little squids.
And Anne Hathaway was just a young lady when she played this part. I mean, it was 2002, so that's
yes,
20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Not surprisingly,
2002. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
not
correct.
Surprisingly, this movie is huge in the furry community.
But of course,
had
to
it
go
is.
there.
Oh, brother. Anyway, she's dancing in the ballroom and with the Baron, who's in disguise, but he eventually gets discovered, and he has to fight the guards and help Haru escape, who is helped by Yuki, who's the lover of the prince. So they're trying to escape, and they go through this tower of a maze to get back to the human world. So the king tries to go to series of efforts to keep Haru in the Cat Kingdom. Uh, so she can transform herself, transform herself fully into a cat. But she doesn't want that, so she's trying to, her and the Baron, Muta, and the Crow are trying to help her escape, so she doesn't come into a cat.
Yeah.
So the prince, finally returns to Cat Kingdom, and not happy. His dad, the king, is trying to get Haru to marry him. The one he wants to marry is, Yuki.
The little white cat that Haru met and gave milk to as a child.
Yes, that's correct. And it was also revealed that Muta is Ronaldo Moon, a notorious criminal in the kingdom who devoured a whole lake of fish in one session.
So he's a fat ass.
Ouch. So so Haru, Muta, Toto, and the Baron, escape, go back to the human world, and they're actually Totoro, I think wasn't there. I think they met Totoro outside of the Cat Kingdom. Yeah, that's correct. And they're being guided by these series of crows back to Haru's high school on the top of the roof, I think. And yeah, and before the Baron left, Haru, he told Haru that Kero will always be open for her if a need ever arises. And she returns back to human form, and and it all ends. Things end off a good note.
Well, I do like when movies end on a good note.
I do too.
Yeah. Here's a question, Raquel. Would you go to the Capyoro yourself?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Turn into a little
sign
kitty?
the red shirt. There is a link.
Oh no, sorry. No, we were having a chat.
Oh, okay, never mind. But yeah, if you want to come on, the link is pinned in the chat. Sakura, haven't watched The Cat Returns yet. You can rent the physical copy from Netflix. That's cool. Hello, Bees Nest.
Wait, Netflix still does that?
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I guess they still do, I guess.
I had no idea they still did that.
Jesus Christ. Is Zencorrect like coming from us from like 2012? Did we got dire warnings about 2020 for you?
Well, we still have Redbox in Los Angeles, and that's a video rental kiosk at the local drugstore or something. So there is still physical media out there being rented, which is kind of surprising.
I know a load of weird facts about Studio Ghibli. The idea from this was when he went on a tour of the Cat Island.
Oh,
Japan.
okay.
Ooh,
I've heard of that. I've heard of that place, the Cat Island.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was there's this island that got overrun by rats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they brought in cats to do it, and now the cats are like, okay, yeah, like there's like 12 million cats on the island. And counting. And the thing is, they're protected by imperial statute. So nobody can, like, take out the cats. And they're, like, a whole order of priests who go to the island just to take care of the cats.
And where is this?
Japan.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, it's also, one of the ways to get money is they offer tours. right? So so Miyazaki went there, and he had the idea of like because he saw some like hierarchy of the cats, and he's like, oh, that could be a king, that could be a baron, that could be this, that could be that. So I wrote The Cat Returns.
Nice.
It's a very well thing. Unlike most of his films, this one is it's a very sweet, it's a very short, very straightforward story. Because there's not that much symbolism to it.
No.
Unlike most.
I think, like, because he did say he made a load of movies for his kids. I think this was when his daughter was going through a cat phase.
I love cats.
I like cats too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do I. I love cats.
I have 2 dogs. They rule.
I had
I
a
have
cat
a
named
cat.
Pumpkin.
Huh? But yeah. But Studio Ghibli is absolutely amazing. What's the next movie?
Yeah, let's go on the next movie. Howl's Moving Castle.
Here we go.
Yes. Now, this film sets into a fictional kingdom with both magic and 20th century technology, or, present.
late 19th century, early 20th, and some steampunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty steampunk.
and there's like a war going on with another kingdom, and it's about this girl Sophie, who I guess who's creating fashion clothes and hats and stuff like that. Who is turned into an elderly woman by a witch who enters her shop and curses her. And she eventually encounters a wizard named Howl, and gets caught up in this resistance to fight for the king.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I love about this movie, it shows how everyone is black and white. Mm-hmm. There's no black and white, there's always grey. Is that they have a magic door where they turn a knob and they're in a different kingdom. Like, they put on another description and it's like, oh, I'm the Grand Wizard. Ah, here's your thing. Give my greetings to the king. Closes the door. Blah, blah, opens it up. There's the enemy, and it's like, hello, I'm the Grand Sorcerer. Here's the same bag. Give my greetings to the king. Boom, closes, and they're in the third kingdom. It's like, do they have any scruples?
Yeah, that was in. I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen all of this movie, but I have seen. I did watch some of it once. But that whole thing with the door that seemed to go anywhere. That was cool.
It was.
Yes. So when she was cursed, she meets Howl, and goes to his place of home that you see here in the picture here, and she makes a deal with this fire demon named Calcifer, who is the source of the castle's magic and stuff.
Yeah.
And she agrees to let's see. Yeah, Calcifer makes a deal with Sophie, agreeing to break her curse if she can break his link with Howl. And she becomes the cleaning lady for Howl's castle. Let's see here. I think Sophie is caught in a war with a neighboring kingdom while missing the missing prince. Oh, right. By the way, at the castle she meets this living scarecrow named Turnip Head.
Mm-hmm.
uh, let's see here. Stefan, do you want to take on this?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so she meets Turniphead on her way of basically escaping her own life because she's not herself anymore. She's an old lady.
Right.
So she goes off into the wastes where allegedly wizards and witches live. And she bumps into Turniphead, who leads her to Howl's castle after giving her a good walking stick. And he can't come in, or he doesn't come in, and that's when she makes friends with Calcifer.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the morning, a boy discovers her who turns out to be Howl's apprentice, and she starts cleaning up the place after Howl gives her permission the next morning. I think Howl shows up during the making of breakfast, and he accepts her as his cleaning lady. And she basically spick and spans and wins the heart of Calcifer and the little boy. And we're not really sure about Howl. He seems to be almost a scary character, but he's too pretty to be scary, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that makes me laugh about Calcifer is he's like, I'm hungry! Please don't let me die! Mm-hmm. And they just throw a stick to him and he's like, thank you! Yum, 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 yum.
Yeah, and she even sets up logs for him after she cleans up his ash pan. She leaves logs for him to feast on at his own strength if he wants to.
Yeah.
And we're slowly discovering that this war is almost a trap for all of the wizards of the land, because they're being required by the king to transform themselves and become, agents of the crown. And that's where some of these wicked, demon-like flying creatures come from in the show. And it kind of harkens back to Poco Rosso, where, these people that work for the king as dogs of war they're not even human anymore. And him and Calcifer actually discuss it, where they say those guys are going to regret doing that because they'll never be human again. And that's what everybody's concerned, that Howl will be consumed by his own sense of power and urgency as he goes out to fight to stop the war. And that's kind of driving him a little crazy. But things turn around because he's coming back to a home every single time. Mm-hmm. And the queen, the head mistress or the head sorceress for the king is Howl's teacher. And she kind of wants him back in a way. It's not clearly stated, but there's definitely some urgency to her wanting him. And the Witch of the Waste gets involved, and I don't know how much I want to spoil, even if I was asked.
For what I remember, the Witch of the Waste and Sophie are heading to this palace, I think, where the king resides.
Yep.
And, you can see that the curse is somewhat losing its power over Sophie. And,
because when she sleeps, she turns back to her young self, and when she doesn't, it's like when she's concentrating, she's an old woman. But when she loses concentration or gets started, she goes back to being young. And then when she gets full concentration back, she's back to being an elderly woman. It's like what happens when
there's a perfect scene with the head sorceress where she's defending Howl to the sorceress and talking about Howl can cure himself and that he doesn't need any help. He can do this on his own. She's getting more youthful by the second.
Yes, she is.
The sorceress reminds her, oh, I see, you're in love with Howl. And then she goes right back to being an old lady again because she can't see herself ever marrying Howl. He's too pretty for her. She's a silly girl, and she's never going to be beautiful enough. And all of those tropes are active in her personality and part of the sorcery.
Which is ironic when it comes to the sorceress.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile,
I need to rewatch this film properly.
Yes,
meanwhile, the Witch of the Waste is being punished.
Mm-hmm.
Gets her all her power drained, and she, reverts to her true age of a harmless old woman.
Mm-hmm.
And Sophie was warned that Howl will meet the same fate if he doesn't fight for the king. And if I remember correctly, that's when Howl arrives to rescue Sophie.
Yeah, we're kind of given a bit of a trick because the king shows up and, presents himself and says, "Oh, I think this silly war should stop, and we really shouldn't be doing this. This is not something we should be doing. This is a silly idea." And then the king shows up, the actual king, and he's just like, "Oh my goodness, that's the best double you've made of me yet. Keep going. I'm gonna go back to the war room and continue planning this awesome war." And
I think that this is an allegory for Japan during World War II.
Yeah, any nation during World War II or World War I to make it more steampunk. But yeah, it is an allegory for kingdoms in wartime.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure a lot of scientists were, what do you call it? Claimed by the government?
Back then, when you became a scientist, you worked for the crown. You worked crown property. So,
yeah.
as the British said, for king and country.
Right. And a lot of those guys kind of lost their soul in the process of doing some very wicked engineering. And probably never gained it back either after the war.
Look at Germany.
Hey, Mora.
Hey, Moira girl. I hate my brain.
And this is pretty much where the story ratchets up, because Howl is basically like, I know what I'm fighting for now.
So Howl is a wizard?
Yes, Howl is a wizard. He's a very, very powerful, reluctant wizard. He doesn't really want his power. He doesn't want to be responsible. Mm-hmm. But after meeting her, he becomes increasingly more focused on, you know what? I think I need to keep this girl in my life because she's really good for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one, so after they escape the palace, she learns that Howl's life is somehow bound to Calcifer, the fire demon. Mm-hmm. And Howl has been transforming into this bird-like creature to interfere with both sides of the war.
Right.
But each transformation makes it more difficult for him to return to human form. Which is not good.
Yes.
So fighting makes him transform.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a Japanese culture, and a lot of Japanese comics are based around transformation. Like, you transform into the demon, you transform into the god, you transform into an oni. To be your true self, as powerful as you are. If you die vengeful, boom, you're an oni. If you die good, you're kami. Things like that.
It's also his rage that is locking it into position. The more he acts on his rage, it's transforming his soul so that he can't figure out how to become whimsical again. Because in the beginning, he's very whimsical.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like me, like when I joined the army, before the army and after the army. It transformed me.
It literally is.
This film will speak to you on that level for sure, because as Disney as it is, it does touch very, very deeply on the emotional qualities of all of that. Like, what side you fight on, and fighting in general might be a bad thing, but you've got to fight for something, and it should be life always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was a shy nobody kid in high school and joined the army right after graduation and turned into a killing machine.
I haven't gone to Jedi Bill's karaoke stream for a while because I don't really sing karaoke that much. But you can see me on Jedi Bill's Insomniac Soup, though.
Yeah, I would pay Raquel in Cheerios to hear her sing.
In Cheerios. Would that
Well,
be cases or boxes of Cheerios?
Crates.
Okay.
So, I'm back on topic here.
Yeah.
So a few days later, the town is bombed by enemy aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
And Howl heads out to protect the group. Sophie moves everyone out of the house, and removes Calcifer from the fireplace, which causes the castle to collapse.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, so all the locations fold into themselves, and they wind up on the plane.
Mm-hmm. So that's when the Witch of the Waste, who's just like an old woman now, realizes that Calcifer is Howl's heart and grabs the fire demon,
mm-hmm.
which sets herself on fire. So Sophie panics and pours water onto the witch. And I guess the castle splits in two, and she falls down the chasm and is separated from the group. And she's, we see her, looking at a young Howl catching a falling star, which is Calcifer, and gives him his heart. Then she returns to the present, finds Howl, and reunites the others.
Mm-hmm.
The witch returns Howl's heart. Sophie places it back inside Howl, revives him, and frees Calcifer, even though he decides to stay. Sophie's curse is broken, although one side effect is her hair remains grayish white.
Mm-hmm.
She kisses the scarecrow, or turnip head, as you call it, on the cheek. Mm-hmm. And it's to be revealed that he is the missing prince from the enemy kingdom. Mm. That's when he said that only his true love's kiss can break his curse. He heads home to cease the war, but promises to see them again. I think Howl's teacher, Solomon, watches through a crystal globe and also decides to end the war. And Sophie and Howl and the others travel in the new flying castle. And,
did Howl keep his magic at the end?
Yes.
I do. He did. I think he did.
Yeah, because Calcifer returns, doesn't he? I think he returns pretty quickly afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's lonely out there.
It is. It is. Now, I think the movie was from 2004, I think.
Yes, 2004. And some notable voice talents on the picture were Billy Crystal as Calcifer. And Sophie was played, I cannot pronounce her name, Jaco Bisho. That might actually be Oh no, here it is. Emily Mortimer played.
How the hell did you
Sophie.
get Jacob Bishop?
Oh well, because I'm looking at the cast list and they've got it mixed part for part
Yeah,
with the Japanese cast.
Eleni Mortar is the young version of Sophie.
Mhm.
The older version of Sophie was voiced by Gene Simmons, I think.
Gene Simmons.
Not the Gene Simmons. This is a Gene Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale plays Howl in the story in the American version, and
I'm sorry,
the
what
Witch
now?
of the Waste is actually voiced, one of her last acting jobs, to the best of my knowledge, by Lauren Bacall of Humphrey Bogart fame.
Mm.
And Madame Sullivan is Blythe Danner.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I like, I thought the film was magically unique. No pun intended.
You know it was.
Yeah,
Did you find it moving as well?
of course.
You don't get it, do you?
No, I got it. Yeah, I like the, I would definitely watch this movie again. I find it very enjoyable.
Yeah, this is one of my almost seasonal rewatches. The sequence where she goes back into Howl's past is one of the most heart-wrenching scenes for me, because he must have known all along. That's why he found her in the alleyway, because he knew the whole time who she was. There was no way she could ever escape it. He was well aware, which is also why he accepts her as a house guest and all of that. So that scene is just like, holy cannoli, I need to rewatch this movie again from scratch, because...
Yeah, so, as a Captain Cockney Spock would say, it's a closed loop. Isn't that right, Alec?
That is... Yeah, that is something he would say, yeah.
Yeah. As far as time travel is concerned, it's a closed loop.
Wait, there's time travel in this?
Yeah,
Well,
she
she
goes
does
back
go
and
back in time through the black door.
Yeah,
Which
she goes
is-
back in time and she sees Howl, and Howl, she basically tells Howl about who she is, how they meet, and Howl's now, young Howl, is aware of where to go, what to do, who she is. So Howl finds her in the alleyway, closing the loop.
Yep.
Yep.
And another interesting thing about that, Howl goes through the black door to revisit his past, I guess, because that's where the black door leads. Is that possible? We don't really know. We're never really told where he goes when he enters the black door. So
Yeah, there's only 4 different ways you can go while using the magic door at the Howl's castle.
yeah, and each one is locked to a specific location. One by the ocean, one in the royal city, one in the plains, and the black door.
Yeah. But before you get on to the next movie, it's 4 in the morning. I'm going to bounce, if that's okay.
All right,
4
I
in the
understand,
morning.
Potato
Yeah.
Evan. Thanks
Well,
for
Where do
coming
you live?
by.
In the
Ireland,
UK.
man.
Ireland.
Take that back.
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
It's the same for me as well.
Yeah.
I did a DNA test and it says I'm 68% Irish.
Nice. Now, see, man, I was only messing with you.
Well, a potato meets relatives all over the place, don't you, Potato?
Yeah, I've got some in Boston. I actually found out that Moira's my cousin. So that's a thing.
Cool.
Which is hysterical.
I
Well,
know.
Potato, it's been a
devastated.
pleasure having you on, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. Guys, you have a fantastic stream. Okay.
Thank you, Potato. We'll
Yeah.
catch you
All right,
later.
have a good-
Have a good night.
Later,
Good
Gala,
night.
good to see you again, man.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great being on the studio again, Revan. Oh, he's gone.
And there he goes.
All right, on to the next film. Tales from the Earthsea.
Yeah,
Now,
this
I
one.
haven't seen this one as well.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't really have much to say about it. but I guess it's about this boy who meets a dragon that is disguised as a human, I guess.
Well, it's based on a book that was written long before this. And it's a book series, actually.
Hmm.
And this is one attempt at adapting it. There was an American attempt at adapting it in live action. I don't think either one of them caught much traction. And I haven't seen this one, so I really can't pass judgment. But I don't think that they went all the way with the entire story. I think they just touched on the story almost as a commercial into the rest of the story, the rest of the novel series.
All right, here's the film synopsis. In the land of Earthsea, a mysterious force threatens to plunge humanity into destruction and chaos. A powerful wizard named Sparrowhawk seeks the source of his world's imbalance, and along the way rescues a runaway prince named Aaron, Arren. When Sparrowhawk's power begins to weaken, he and Aaron must join forces with a former priestess and her daughter to defeat an evil foe whose quest for mortality will destroy Earthsea.
And the land is a bunch of divided kingdoms surrounded by almost entirely water. So that's where the Earthsea idea comes in. The map is basically whatever mountain ranges and tall high valley plateaus survived a flood of some kind. There's definitely an ancient world quality to the whole thing. Very mystical, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like this is one many of the Ghibli films I haven't seen. I would definitely like to watch this and check this out. But that's all I have to say on this film. Anything else?
Alec, have you seen any of this?
I have, but
then go right away then.
Yeah, I have seen this. Well, some of this. I have seen this film or some of it, and maybe because I didn't watch it quite from the beginning, is because I just watched it because it happened to be on the TV at that time. At that moment, I was looking for something to watch. I was like, "Oh, this is a Ghibli movie. I gotta watch this." And I couldn't properly follow on what exactly was happening, because but all I really remember is like this whole thing with this girl who was singing this really sad song, and then later in the film there was this whole thing with this this boy. I guess he was that prince who was confronted by this this really evil wizard or something, and he kept going on about living forever and being immortal and. Something like that. Yeah. I don't remember this movie too well. I mean, I think this is probably one I need to rewatch as well.
Yeah, I would. One of many of the Ghibli films I have to watch and I have not seen yet, and this is from 2006.
Yes.
And I love dragons, so definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, and it is Ghibli, so there must be something more to this than meets the eye. I just haven't had a chance to see it. I'll have to check it out, actually.
Definitely. All right,
guys. I'm gonna bounce out of here.
All right, thanks for coming, Muse Nest. You have a good night.
Night, man.
Y'all too. Thank you.
Next film is Ponyo.
Ponyo. Now this film, I have seen. I did watch it once, but the only problem is where I watched it. Yeah, I watched most of it, but I couldn't. The only part of it I haven't seen is the ending.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't really seen the ending of this.
I haven't I haven't properly seen the ending of it. No.
All right. Do you mind I spoil it at the end for you, or you don't want me to do that?
Take your time, man. Think it through.
This is one I definitely need to go back and watch again because what I did watch this. Like I said, I have seen some of it, and what I saw I thought was absolutely adorable. So.
Yeah, there are some visuals in this movie that broke people's minds in the movie theater when it first came out, and I'm sure children ever since as well. It just the sequences get so gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is some pretty weird imagery in this film.
Yeah, there's almost like a magic man of the ocean in this movie.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like Finding Nemo, kind of.
Yeah, it's also a little bit like Little Mermaid as well. It has definitely that kind of, because she comes up on shore and then becomes more human the longer she stays on land. And there becomes that whole Jeopardy cycle where, her father or her creator or whoever he is,
Fujimoto, who was a human wizard, lives underwater with his daughter, Brunhilde, and her other sisters. So she, Brunhilde, or Ponyo, whatever you want to call her, sneaks off and floats away on the back of a jellyfish. And, she gets trapped in a glass jar just off to the shore of this small fishing town, where she is rescued by, Sosuke, the little 5-year-old boy. While, shattering the jar on a rock, Sosuke cuts his finger. Brunhilde licks it, and heals the wound almost instantly. Sosuke names her Ponyo and promises to protect her. Meanwhile, her dad, Fujimoto, is searching frantically for her and believes to be kidnapped. And, calls this spirit wave to recover her.
Yeah,
and then that basically floods the whole town except for this one little spot, right? That becomes under a dome and is protected. I forget what the sequence
then
was.
She looks like a human little girl. She's trying, and Ponyo was trying to break away from her father's control of her. And we see this huge amount of magic that she releases into the ocean that causes a imbalance of nature. This huge tsunami, if you will.
Yeah.
And Sosuke and his mom and Ponyo, are trying to seek higher ground.
Right. That's where the old ladies live in, what is it, a nursing home or something that the mother works at, or?
Yeah, some kind of nursing home. Yeah, her dad sees that the moons appear to be falling out of his orbit. Satellites are falling like shooting stars, and all sorts of dangerous imbalances of nature. And we're taken to this. So everything's underwater, everything, and I think we are taken to the retirement home that's underwater, but somehow I think it's some kind of gigantic bubble or some kind of jellyfish they're all in. They're like, so they can breathe air, and this is where we meet Ponyo's mother. I forget her name. Grand Marie or something like that.
Yeah, Grand Mamar.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate Blanchett plays the part for the American dub.
Yeah, so Grand Mamar asks Sosuke if he can move Ponyo whether she is a fish or a human. Sosuke's answer was likewise, I guess. And the mom tells her daughter if she chooses to become human once and for all, she'll have to give up her magical powers. Well, she agrees to, and she's encased in a bubble given to Sosuke, who kisses it to complete Ponyo's transformation and restoring balance of nature. And the dad respects his daughter's choice, and decides he can trust Sosuke. Then I guess then Ponyo joyfully jumps in the air, kisses Sosuke, completing her transformation as a little human girl.
And isn't that what I basically know? Isn't that where the movie ends when that happens?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think there's some pageantry at the end where like everybody resolves, everybody goes back to their normal places and they visit each other, and yeah, there's a denouement after that goes on for quite a while of all the resolutions coming into place. I forget if the father comes back too, right? Isn't the boy waiting for his father to come back from sea? And the mom's all pissed off.
Yeah, I think I think he is. Yes, and I love how Ponyo has made Sosuke's little boat figurine into like a life-size kid boat.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has a candle steamboat.
Yes, I thought that was really cool and cute.
Yeah. Japan knows how to do the cute. They're so good at it.
They do.
And Liam Neeson plays the Fujimoto in the American dub. Among others, there are a lot of interesting cast members in the English dub. I'm not going to go into all of them, though. But some of the best ocean effects in an animated film. There's some truly groundbreaking integration of CG animation. We didn't really touch on that with Howl, but Howl was a really big deal. That was really the first time that they really nailed some of these new concepts at Studio Ghibli on how to integrate computer graphics without using computer graphics. Like, there's a sequence in Howl's Moving Castle where she's trying to yank the stick out of a bush.
Mm-hmm.
And the bush is basically just a painting, but they mapped it onto a 3D tree, but it's all still illustrated so that they could warp it and manipulate it so it looked like it was moving. There was a lot of visual effects like that. It was still all illustrated, but they put the illustrations on top of CG objects so that they could move the camera a bit and get some more dynamic angles.
Which looked really amazing, by the way. Yeah, I would definitely, like, it's a very wholesome movie. I would definitely watch it again. Yeah, like, I would, definitely watch it again, on a rainy day or something like that.
Oh, yeah, just for the mom. The mom is the most awesome gal. Her driving sequence at the beginning of the film where she's never going to be late because she drives like a crazy woman. Just absolutely priceless moment in that movie. It's a great film starter because the boy's in the back seat like scared out of his wits, but mom knows what she's doing.
I love Ponyo's mom, the grand whatever I forget her name is. What's her name?
Just absolutely like Galadriel level.
Oh,
magical woman.
Grand Mare or something like that. Yeah, very angelic, very goddess-like. Of the character.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, if there was another character. The best I could think of is some of the older style of animation in Japan where they did, high queens with the gigantic, almost almond-shaped eyes, and there's stars twinkling around her, and her gown is organically attached to her body. Just gorgeous
Very
imagery in
gorgeous.
this movie. And very colorful. And of course, super family friendly, if we didn't make that clear.
Definitely. And that was from 2008. Yeah, definitely would watch this movie again on a rainy day. Next film. The Secret World of Arrietty. This is another one I haven't seen. But here's the synopsis for it.
I've seen
Arrietty. Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah.
So, Arrietty is a tiny teenager that lives in her parents in the recesses of a suburban home, unknown to the homeowner and the housekeeper. Like the others of her kind, Arrietty remains hidden from her human hosts, but occasionally ventures forth from beneath the floorboards to borrow sugar cubes and other supplies, and forms a secret friendship with a trivial boy named Sean. But their friendship could spell danger for Arrietty's family.
Yeah. It's like it's like, yeah, it's kind of, it's like, I mean, the story, I mean, this is, I mean, a little person called Arrietty. This is like it's like the Borrowers in a kind of, it's like a Japanese take on the Borrowers.
I'm not really familiar with the Borrowers.
Oh, it's an old basically it's an old, borrowers are basically just little people who live, very small people who live inside people's houses, and they borrow stuff from the humans who live in those houses for their own needs.
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with that one either. I'm going to look it up.
I'm not either. So one of the many Ghibli films I haven't seen yet as of yet.
There's an old comedy movie from the 90s, I think it's from the 90s, starring John Goodman, called The Borrowers.
Yes, and based on a storybook.
Yeah.
By the same name.
Yeah, it's based. Yeah, The Borrowers it's based on an old story. Yeah.
What I love about this is that you get the feeling that these are an allegory for mice living in your house, but it's not really the case. It's they're almost fairy folk, but they're living in a contemporary age, and they even have photography. They use electricity, and when they borrow a lump of sugar, that lasts them all month. That little cube of sugar.
Yeah.
So they are very miniature, like action figure size, like 3.5 inches tall at best.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how. Yeah, that's how big that's how big a borrower is. I'm not sure if they call them borrowers in this, but I mean, heck, Arrietty. I mean, the name Arrietty is the name of one of the members of the clock family, who are the borrowers in the borrower's story.
Okay.
She's the daughter of the family, which is.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there was any, because there are a lot of Japanese properties that, like the original Nosferatu, are loosely based on actual pieces of copyrighted literature, but because they don't come really close to that literature's storyline, they can get around the copyright. And Arrietty might very well be borrowed from the borrowers.
Thank you, Son of the Red Shirt. Yes, please hit that like button. I appreciate it.
That might very well be the case, but yeah, I mean, again, this film is it's a much more straightforward film. It's not that long, and it's a very cute little story, and it's not like I don't think it's like full of like environmental themes or anything like that, like earlier movies. I think it's a very, I mean, but it is very charming.
Well, definitely have to check it out sometime.
Yeah, there's the action and the climax kind of feel a little bit like the Rats of Nim, where she's trying to achieve a goal and save her family. She gets discovered, and there might be, trouble for everybody. All the characters are definitely in jeopardy by the end of it.
Yeah.
And they're tiny. And what are they going to do about this whole thing? And the boy might even die of this illness that he's in. So you're worried about that too. So there are definite stakes in this, which makes it feel a little awkward because it gets really treacherous for all the characters. That much I remember from the piece. But of course, as usual, it's so beautiful that it all becomes almost meaningless. It's just everything's so pretty and just gorgeously done. The story is a very soft pedal through these incidents until it starts to climax, and then it starts really booking. Much the same with Ponyo. It's very, very sweet. There are these incredible visuals. You have all these sweet, cherishable moments. And then, oh yeah, that's right, we forgot. The whole world is outside there. And the world comes in to take a look. And that's where, shenanigans occur.
Sounds like it. But yeah, I would sometime soon, I would definitely like to check out this film.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's right up there.
From
yeah. Well, if you want to watch a nice, cute, charming story with a bit of tension in it, then yeah, check out this film. Check out Arrietty. it wasn't even. I think that the secret world of Arrietty. I think in the Japanese that was that's probably added to the title for the
Probably.
American release. In the Japan, it's just called Arrietty.
Okay.
And that was 2010.
Yeah, 2010. All right. Next film. From Up on Poppy Hill. This was from 2011. And it's some more of a historical piece. It's set in 1963 of Yokohama, Japan. And it's about Yumi, a high school girl living in this boarding house. She meets this boy named Shun Kazuma, who's a member of the school's newspapers club. And they decide to clean up the schoolhouse club because it's been because the chairman of the high school intends to demolish it for a redevelopment. So
of course,
Yumi
the old trope.
So Yumi and Shun, along with other classmates, have to reconsider the chairman not to build down the building. So yeah, their task is to spruce things up. And also,
have you seen this one?
Yes, I have seen this one. And there's also a
I haven't seen this one.
Mm-hmm. Also, the boy she's charmed to Shun. There was a little mystery of here. Her dad, sadly, I guess, was in some kind of war or some kind of boating accident, and some kind of war, and I guess his ship he was on got hit and he died. So she misses her father, and she every time a ship goes by, she raises these flags every day. Every day. So there's this little mystery here that the boy she likes, his father is not really his father. And she and Shun trying to figure out, you're like, okay, who's Shun's real father? Like, and at one point you think it was Yumi's dad, and she starts to get upset because she likes Shun. And eventually we discovered through one of Yumi's dad's friends that his real father was a friend of Yumi's dad, and everything turned out okay in the end.
Film is said to take place in 1963, and they're finally trying to bring Japan into the modern era because in 1964 Japan will have the Olympics. They'll be hosting the Olympics for the first time.
Oh,
so that's the backdrop to this whole story. Historical Japan just before they became 20th century, even though it was mid 20th century already. So that's got to be really interesting.
Yeah,
I got to check this one out too.
Yeah, Yumi, like I said, she lives in this boarding home. She runs the house, looks after the youngest siblings and the grandmother. And each morning she raises a signal flag with the message, "I pray for safe voyages." Because
again, that's probably to the sea and to the ships as well.
To the sea.
She's almost pleading with the ocean not to hurt anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. And there's something else too to that just kind of dawned on me, that I wouldn't put it past the writers of the story to suggest that she's a part of Japan that will never forget what happened in the oceans during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of men never came back, and she refuses to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Which is placed to the whole internal mechanism of the story of trying to keep old houses around and not to redevelop everything, that we still need our history.
Exactly. Yeah, and Shun is trying to, save the school clubhouse because the chairman wants to take it down for renovation and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Shun and Yumi get their rest of their classmates to clean up the clubhouse so they can, ask the chairman to reconsider not to tear down the clubhouse.
And then shenanigans.
And shenanigans.
How does it conclude? Does it conclude peacefully? Is it resolved in the end?
Well, yeah. So she, Yumi takes care of the border house she's in. Her mother's not there. Her father's, her dad was serving on a supply ship during the Korean War. And he was killed. So she sees this photograph of 3 young naval men, and one of her is her dad. So the Shun boy, he is staying with this guy who he thinks is his father, but it's not really his actual father. So there's just this mystery of Yumi and Shun trying to figure out, okay, who's Shun's actual father. At one point, you would think that Shun was Yumi's brother, but it was revealed in the later of the film through one of her dad's friends that was still alive, that Yumi's dad adopted Shun.
Which was not uncommon in Japan for that to happen.
Yes. And so at the time, when they were trying to figure out who Shun's father was, and then that's when she found out, Shun was adopted by her dad. She was actually getting, I didn't say she adopted. That was her brother. She was actually getting upset because she really likes Shun. And it was revealed later on that her dad adopted Shun, so they're not actually brother and sister. And the Yumi and Shun were finally shared their romantic feelings with each other, and continued to be friends. At the end, they meet one of her dad's friends who just returned to the United States, and tells Yumi that her father was actually you know, actually this person in the photo she was looking at with the three men.
Oh, I see. Okay. Which is why he took them in, because they were friends before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so at the end, Yumi and Shun finally, with their efforts, cancel the, ask the chairman to reconsider not to demolish the clubhouse, which they exceeded on. And they're summoned to the harbor when they meet Yoshiro, one of her dad's friends from the photo, who's now a ship's captain. And, the third man in the photo, as well as the sole survivor of the three. And he confirms to Yumi and Shun that are not related by blood. With everything resolved, Yumi resumes raising her signal flags every morning. But now not just for her father.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's somewhat of a historical film. Definitely has love elements to it, mystery, and it's also a school effort to save this clubhouse as well.
Yeah, this is one of those historical pieces that looks very traditional and highly detailed in classic Ghibli fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. In the photo, you have Yumi's dad. You got Yoshino, and the third one, what's his name? I forget his name.
Go back.
I believe it's Tachibana. I think. I might be wrong on that. But yeah, I love watching this film. It's been a while since I watched it. I'd like to watch it again sometime soon.
Well, we were talking about Only Yesterday last time, and it sounds like if you enjoyed this one, then I can guarantee you'll love Only Yesterday, because it feels like the same kind of vibe, a little bit of a mystery. What's this girl really doing here? Even she doesn't really know, and then she discovers some truth that transforms her life, but it transforms it into something that's stabilized finally. Like she finally finds herself. So, yeah, a very similar vibe between these two, which is why it's a studio film, of course.
Definitely.
These guys, one banger after another.
All right, next film. The Wind Rises. This is from 2013. Also a film I have not seen yet. Have you seen this, Dialogue?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No.
So I will give a spoiler-free once-over.
Before you do that, Stefan.
Go ahead.
It says a lifelong love of flight inspires this Japanese aviator engineer, Jiro, who's
Horikoshi?
Yeah, Horikoshi, whose story career includes the creation of the A6M World War II fighter plane.
Right, which we fondly know as the Zero, the one that attacked Pearl Harbor.
Ah, okay.
So that adds a little bit of oddness to the weight of the movie, because you're like, oh, these are such lovely people. And it's like, oh, this guy's making the plane that started World War II, basically. Yeah, so it's a little. It didn't get well received because of that. So it was an awkward movie for the studio.
No, I don't really think so. I have not seen this film, but yeah, one of my list of Ghibli films I have to watch and have not seen yet.
Well, the romance is between the painter we see on screen and the guy creating the aircraft. And he works for an aircraft company, and the cast around him is quite humorous. Meanwhile, World War II is occurring in real time around all of these characters. And she becomes ill. And the romance and his film and his aircraft project are in jeopardy because he's losing sleep, he's stressed out of his mind, the engineering isn't working, and the Germans aren't cooperating with allowing them into understanding aluminum casting technologies, which they actually go to Germany to look into, but the Germans are being snots about it. So he's stressed out about that. The war is falling behind. It's an odd film to watch from the American side of the fence or from the Allied side of the fence. But in classic Ghibli fashion, they just get you to love every one of these characters. And
hey,
the visuals are gorgeous.
No, this movie is not about farts.
No.
No.
Nope. That would be The Wind Also Stank, which is a totally different studio.
But yeah, like on my list of what I need to watch of the I haven't seen, there are some Ghibli films I haven't seen that I need to watch, and at some point I'll get around to those.
Yeah, I'm the same.
He works for Mitsubishi.
Yes, indeed, he does. And Mitsubishi is not just a car company. They are a gigantic engineering firm in Japan. Like, so gigantic, you can't believe all the things they make. Everything from engine propellers to flashlights. I mean, no joking around. A gigantic engineering firm.
Wow. All right. This is from 2013. And next film, The Tale of Princess Kaguya.
This one I've been meaning to watch for a long time.
I have not seen it. Another film I need to watch. I haven't seen yet. It's also from 2013. It's about a tiny nymph found inside a bamboo stalk and grows into a beautiful, desirable young woman who orders her suitors to prove their love by completing a series of near impossible tasks.
Yes, and this is a visual storytelling of a famous Japanese story about the Moon Princess and how the emperor falls in love with her.
I believe it's the tale of the bamboo cutter. Am I right about that?
I believe so. Yes, it starts off. Yeah, that's exactly it. That she sends them out to like get mystical trees, and all of these brave men with all their vibrato basically try to swindle her heart by making fake versions of these mystical things, and she turns them all away. And yeah, it's a great story told in this very watercolor and ink style that you see on the cover here. It's very much a story being told to you because it doesn't shy away from that picture book quality. It never becomes a full anime. It stays like this almost the whole film. It's very sketchy, a little blurry at times, but all for the sake of the story.
No, I'm somewhat familiar with this story with the tale of the bamboo cutter. But I have not seen this film. I would definitely like to check this out. I do love the story, so yeah, I would definitely like to check out this film sometime soon.
It looks like an old watercolor painting in a storybook in
Oh, well,
Japan.
yeah, it really does.
And there are actual frames that I think are actually tributing the story. I don't know, but Japan probably does, of old scrolls from Japan. I think that they're paying tribute to those images on screen in several occasions. Just another gorgeous experimental kind of styling.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one by Hayao Miyazaki, Takahata. This is another Takahata piece.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy at the studio, the other big muscle guy at the studio.
All right. When Marine was there, this is a 2014.
Marnie.
Also,
I think that's when Marnie was there.
Marnie? Okay. All right. Excuse me. When Marnie was there, it's a 2014 film. I also haven't not seen this. It's about a young girl is set to the country for health reasons, where she meets an unlikely friend in the form of Marnie. Yeah, Marnie. Sorry, a young girl with flowing blonde hair. As the friendship unravels, Marnie has closer ties to the young girl that we might expect. Interesting. So it's
and this becomes
it's like
deep
a mystery.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And even, if I remember correctly, there's a bit of a time mystery too, because people don't know that she even exists, but she's kind of questioning whether or not she ever met this girl in the first place.
Right.
So it does have that mystery wrapped into it. I saw it once, but I don't really remember it too clearly. But it's two girls, and it's almost like a discussion about her health and whether or not this girl is sicker than her. I think it's a very interesting story. More of a, kind of a slice of life, the two of them discussing things and the characters that surround them questioning those things, and to see how the mystery unfolds and how do I get her back and where did she go? Those kinds of things are going on in this. Not a lot of magic, but very magical nonetheless.
Definitely. No, you haven't seen this one, right, Dalek?
No, I haven't. So I don't know that much about it.
That's okay. So we're gonna go on to our next film. I haven't seen this one either. It's called The Red Turtle. It is technically a Studio Ghibli film, but it's also a silent film, so there's not much of a dialogue in this film. It's about a massive sea turtle that destroys a stranded man's raft every time he tries to sail away from a tropical island. That's all I really know about it from watching the trailer.
Have you seen this one, Dalek?
I'm not entirely sure. I might have seen it, or some.
Yeah, this is it was directed by a Dutch animator, actually. That's where the look of the guy's face and the look of most of it has a very European cartoon, like Tintin kind of quality to the imagery, but it's all Ghibli production.
Yes,
and there's some mystery about whether or not the red turtle becomes someone that visits the island, and his rage gets the better of him, and there's this stuff that ensues. I won't spoil it because it's a very brief film from what I understand.
So this film was co-produced between Studio Ghibli and several French companies. And yeah, this is a story of a man who becomes shipwrecked on a desert island and meets this giant red female turtle. But this film has no dialogue.
Right. Yeah. And the female character suddenly appears and he has a whole life with her.
Mm-hmm.
But he makes a terrible mistake and he doesn't know how to take it back.
Oh no.
So I don't want to even bring it up because with so little dialogue, the visuals are the only thing to go on. So
Yeah,
when
we
the
don't want
story
to
starts
spoil it.
moving, yeah. But
We
it's
don't
a
want to spoil it
beautifully
too
visual
much.
film, very limited color palette. As you could see, I mean, it's a desert island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, highly recommended. I think that it has coveted several animation awards.
Yes, I believe it. Hold on here. Where are my notes? Yeah, it was nominated for Best Animated Feature for the 89th Academy Awards.
Yeah, and I see Caesar's award for best animation, which is probably an Italian award, and Critics' Choice Movie Award for best animated feature. I mean, it's definitely got some laurels on top of its head for sure. I've heard that it's really considered to be high art, which is kind of silly because well, Ghibli's been doing this for a while, guys. Why don't you take a look at the rest of the catalog? We didn't need French studios to tell us it was Academy Award worthy. We already knew that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ghibli gets their due rights, and the film was highly celebrated by the critical world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see Cannes 2016 on the poster as well. So that must have been.
I'll probably check this out, but I'm probably not going to be very used to not hearing any dialogue in the film, though. I'll watch it regardless, though.
Well, what dialogue could there be between a man and a turtle?
Touche.
But yeah, I think it's highly recommended as one of those you should see if you're an avid fan of the studio in general.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something you should have in your head just to see, where they go in the art scene, because this is definitely art scene kind of movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was released in 2016.
But it's you mentioned Academy Award winning. Here's something, a little fact about Spirited Away we didn't mention before. Spirited Away was actually the first Japanese animated film ever to win an Academy Award.
Yeah. Yes, it won quite a few awards. I was kind of trying to hype up this picture, but yet no surprise at all that Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away, basically took a run of awards, nominated for a bunch and won a bunch more.
Cool.
Oh God, the list is gigantic. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, like at some point I'll watch this film. Next film is Mary and the Witch's Flower. Now, this is produced by Studio Pontiac, but the founder, hopefully I won't butcher his name, Yoshikai Nishimura, who was the lead film producer of Studio Ghibli. So that's why the visuals here look really similar to Studio Ghibli. So it's somewhat technically Studio Ghibli, but at the same time, kind of not. But I definitely want to give this film a mention. I did see this film in theaters, and I quite enjoyed it. And this is based off of a 1971 book called The Little Broomstick by Mary Stewart. It tells of a story of a girl named Mary Smith who finds Fly By Night, a mysterious flower that can give her the power to become a witch for only one night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is the land? I see that the land looks unearthly. Is it a magical land that she's living in?
No, Mary moves into this northern eastern part of the country with her great aunt Charlotte. And, she's bored, doesn't have any friends. So she tries to, help do chores, but, keeps messing up. She meets this local boy named Peter, who teases her for her clumsiness and her wild red hair. And, she has 2 cats, Tib and Gib. That's cute, Tib and Gib.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that's not her cats. That's Peter's cat. I'm sorry. So Peter's cats, Tib and Gib, lead Mary to this mysterious glowing flower called Fly by Night, which the gardener identifies. The legend about this flower has it that witches covered this flower for its magical power.
And that's the blue flower in the front of the image.
Yes, that's correct. Next day, one of the cats, Gibbs, disappears. Tib leads Mary to a broomstick, but she accidentally bursts a fly-by-night bulb on it, and that bulb releases magical power to make the broom come to life and enables Mary to ride it like a witch. The little broomstick carries Mary away to this complex building of clouds known as Endor College for Witches, which you see in the background right next to her, beside her. This is where she meets the head mistress, Madame Mumblecook, I think. And, she assumes that Mary is a new pupil with her cat Tib as her familiar, and takes her around a tour of the college. She introduces Dr. D, a renowned chemistry teacher. Mary finds herself to perform advanced spells such as invisibility. So the madam and the Dr. D become convinced that Mary is a prodigy because of her performance and her red hair, which is apparently a distinguished feature among the best witches.
Yeah, I've heard that before in a lot of old literature. That is the case, that red-haired.
This sounds a bit like about a little anime series all about young witches. Sounds a little bit like Little Witch Academia. That's probably not quite a good comparison. I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, I've never. Again, this is one I've never seen.
I would definitely recommend it. I enjoyed the film. I saw it in the theaters. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So Mary admits that her magical ability comes from this flower called Fly by Night, and that Tib, one of the cats, belongs to Peter. That's when the madam's attitude changes, but lets Mary return home once she returns over Peter's address. So that night, the madam sends Mary a message informing that she kidnapped Peter and demands that Mary bring the fly-by flower or bulbs to her. She and Tib quickly fly back to Endor with the flowers, but the madam and the Dr. D imprison her in their transformation lab. Mary finds Peter locked in with her and discovers that Dr. D has been experimenting on animals, including Gib, who looks like a transformed cat-like toad. I didn't like to see that. You turning cat into a toad? How awful. So anyway.
Wow. Does it really get spooky? I mean, does it get like almost?
No, not really. So she somehow escapes, and from the spell book she took from the madam's office, she uses the spell to undo the transformations and unlock the lab, and tries to escape in the little broomstick, but Peter is recaptured. The broomstick takes Mary to an isolated cottage on a tiny island that is seemingly alive. Inside the cottage, she finds notes on spells and a mirror that her great aunt, Charlotte, uses to contact her. Through visions, Charlotte reveals that the cottage was her old home, and she used to be a red-haired pupil who excelled at Endor. So one day, Charlotte found the fly-by-night flower on campus, leading Madame and Dr. D to obsessively pursue a project to use the flower to transform all humans into witches. But their experiment failed. Charlotte escaped Endor, taking the flower with her. Charlotte, so her great aunt Charlotte, begs Mary to use the last flower to return home, but Mary vows to rescue Peter. So Mary returns to Endor, finds Madame and Dr. D trying to transform Peter into a warlock. The experiment fails again, leaving Peter trapped with this slimy monster. So Mary gives the books of spells to Peter, and he uses it to undo this failed experiment and all of Madame and Dr. D's research that was destroyed. Peter and Mary fly home, throwing her away the last fly-by-night flower, saying she does not need magic.
Huh. Yeah, I was just trying to look up the original book. The woman who wrote this has quite an extensive catalog. She was born in 1916,
Mm-hmm.
And only passed in the early 2000s. So she lived to be almost 100 years old. The original author. But I still want to see if I can.
Oh, by the way, the cat, one of the cats, Gib, he was transformed back into the cat, so he is no longer a toad cat. Just wanted to mention that. So yeah, all the animals were like transformed into these monstrous versions of other animals. They were transformed back to their original forms.
And I just discovered that this book is available for free as a PDF on a website called bookspdfforfree.com. So if you are interested in this story in its original book form, that would be the place to go.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Because it looks really cool. And she did do a handful of children's books, but it wasn't her primary form. But she was definitely speaking about magic through most of her book catalog. So maybe an interesting author to explore.
Definitely. That means she was alive when Lovecraft was.
Yeah.
Hey, Marie, Ray of Hope. Now, this was released in 2017. I saw this in theaters. Sakura said he saw this movie last year as well. Yeah, definitely a good film to watch. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I love stories that just go so deep into another world. And it sounds like you were completely
Definitely.
immersed in the storyline as well. So good recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is for sure a Studio Ghibli film. It's called Earwig and the Witch. Was released in 2020. I have not seen this. This is completely different from the other Studio Ghibli films. This is more 3D animated than the original 2D animation that we see.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot of anger in the fandom at the way this film looked, and a lot of people that I know that are really into anime were just not happy with the way this turned out.
Oh, I can see why. But at the same time, like, you know, I definitely don't mind it, to be honest.
I could. You were saying about fans not being happy with them going into the look of the film using CGI. Let me tell you. Well, I can say this: I wasn't happy either.
Oh, you saw it?
But no, I've not. I heard of this film, but I've not actually watched it. But I think there's this person on YouTube who I heard about it from, and when I saw that it was, well, just look at it. It looks ugly.
All right, now
it looks.
I wouldn't just say it was ugly. Maybe it just more have a acquired taste to it.
And I mean, I don't. When I heard that Studio Ghibli of all places was doing a CGI film, I was like, oh hell no! How could they do that?
Well, yeah. And we all wonder why Hayao Miyazaki keeps coming back out of retirement.
Maybe this is one of the reasons why. I don't know.
The West. We already get more than enough cheap, crappy looking CGI. I don't want more. I want traditional animation.
I know, but at the same time, I can see how Studio Ghibli is trying to keep things relative or updated, and trying to sink their feet into this 3D animation stuff. So yeah, I have to say this film was more of a hit and miss, even though I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I won't pass judgment on it until I actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard it was clunky. I had heard it was, not really that they didn't nail the traditional Ghibli vibe. They were trying really hard, but this is an experimental media, and very few companies have gotten this right. So even Studio Ghibli has issues with the CGI thing. So
right.
I want to watch it first, and I want to mention also,
I
I'm going to actually put it in the chat. There's a anime site that I have discovered. I can't put the whole thing in the chat, but we'll go from here. Called 9 Anime. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
I've heard of that.
I'm going to space it out so that it doesn't show up as an HTML and gets bumped, but that's basically it. And it has this movie on there for free.
Cool. So this film is about a headstrong orphan girl who discovers a world of spells and potions while living with a selfish witch. Sounds,
And there appears to be music.
Sounds like otherworldly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'll probably watch this tonight, just out of curiosity to see what all the hubbub is about. because angst in the aisles between fans is always an interesting thing to look into. It's like, what were you guys
Definitely.
complaining about? This wasn't bad. What was the complaint about?
I think because the switch, I think because they switched to 2D animation to more 3D animation, but which I can understand. Most of the Ghibli fans are not really happy about, but at the same time, it's not exactly bad. I would just say it's definitely a hit and miss. Studio Ghibli is trying to get their feet wet in this 3D animation.
Yeah, because the industry is almost demanding that they need to figure this out.
Right.
And when they do, boy, we're going to get the best CG animated feature film ever. I can guarantee that. When they really figure this out. Because everything with a learning curve.
Definitely. But but that's all of the Ghibli films that we talked about. I would definitely like to check out this movie sometime later. But yeah. There is a upcoming Studio Ghibli film. I do not know when it's going to be released, but it's called How Do You Live? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you know anything about the plot?
Let's see. It's based off of a real world novel.
Okay.
Okay. Here's what it says about the novel. It's a 1937 novel by Yoshino Genzaburo.
Okay.
It follows a 15-year-old boy named Junjushi.
So a Japanese story for sure.
Junichi Honda, nickname Koperu. I might be getting these names pronouncing them wrong. Sorry. And his uncle as the youth deals with spiritual growth, poverty, and overall experience as human beings. All right, sounds.
Wow, that sounds really heavy. I'm curious.
So it sounds like a slice of life film.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna. Because I read the original book that inspired Howl's Moving Castle, and it was very different than Howl's Moving Castle. It was definitely a different take. The power system worked differently. Howl was actually a video game player that went into this world. And there was actually our world was included in the story. So definitely a different story. I was like, holy adaptation. So I'm curious to see where they go with that because for sure
I am. I just don't know when that is going to be released though. I guess we'll have to wait and see about that. Oh, you've seen the trailer for Earwig and the Witch?
Wait, sorry. What was that about Howl Moving Castle?
The original book is a British British book.
Right.
And it's a very strange take on itself, but it's not. It's a real loose adaptation that Miyazaki gave us from the book. It's not entire. Most of the story that we're familiar with is just not in the book. Almost the same as the original Planet of the Apes versus the movie Planet of the Apes. The book is basically a French sci-fi story, and Planet of the Apes is an American sci-fi story.
Oh, so you watched the trailer for Earwig and the Witch, Manway, I hope. I have to check it out again. I have seen it, but it's been a while. And I would definitely like to watch the movie at some point. There's some Ghibli films in this list that we have talked about last week and this week I have not seen. so I'd like to get to them and watch them at some point.
Mm.
Maybe even doing a watch party with all of you guys.
Yeah, and you still you haven't watched Ghost in the Shell. I definitely want to
No,
do that
have not.
someday with you two. That would be really intoxicating to hear you guys watch it for the first time, because that's a legendary picture at this point.
Yes, I think we just need to pick a date and time. We can do that.
Okay, I think I need to. I think I need to say this. That what was it? Earwig and the Witch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the only Ghibli film I'll probably won't watch.
All right, understandable.
Line in the sand.
I guess the girl in the cover.
Because I'm sorry again. For me, CGI from Studio Ghibli, that's too far.
Understandable. But Memory of Hope, I guess the girl in the poster for Earwig and the Witch kind of looks like Dragon Ball like, kind of. And no, I haven't really staying up to date on One Piece. I'm, quite behind on that. To be frankly, I think I left on Punk Hazard.
Oh wow, you're a long way behind.
Yeah, I am.
You're even further behind than I am. I'm only just. I mean, I'm only just past Dressrosa. I'm now I'm now on Zoe, I think.
Well, yeah, I don't want to I don't want to be caught up too much. You know what I mean?
Well, I am totally not caught up. I caught half of the first season.
Then you have a long way to go, my friend.
Well, yeah, if I choose to go down that road. If I choose to go down
Madam Ray of Hope. Like, you have, I don't know, 20 seasons. Or no, 19 seasons to catch up to.
I've given up on that. I've given up on Dragon Ball, only because it would be impossible. I would have to dedicate my life to just watching One Piece to even catch up. And Naruto is almost the same way.
It's quite a binge watch.
Coof.
Watch. No, stay away from the anime. That's booty. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Manga's where it's at.
Well, I love manga,
yeah,
and I love anime. I love both, really, to be honest.
And I just saw someone react to the second episode of season 2.
Anime.
Say what, Stefan?
The second episode of season 2 of Spy Family. And again, I'm falling in love all over again.
God, I need to catch up with that.
So it's only two episodes in for the season.
I'm only halfway through the first season of Spy Family.
Well, it's not a long run. I mean, it's like this episode's only episode 14. So you've got like 12 episodes in the first season.
I know.
But that is just an absolute darling, that show. And now it just got a psychic dog. It got a a dog that sees the future. So the story just lifted itself into a whole other category. It's hysterical.
Can the dog talk?
No, but the little girl can read its mind. So they have full-blown conversations. It's great. It's so great. Meanwhile, there's actually like terrorist attacks in East Germany, this fictitious East Germany, and there's genuine Jeopardy levels almost every single episode. And yet they're cooking dinner a couple of episodes down the road, and everything's wholesome and cool again, and shenanigans in school, and she's adorable, and the mom is learning how to be a mom, even though she's a super spy killing machine that blushes. It's great. It's just great.
I mean, it sounds pretty shoujo.
Oh, I guarantee you after one episode, you'll be hooked, or at least be interested in seeing another one. It's really charming.
Love Anya, love Yor, and what's his name? Forger, Lloyd Forger. He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. It's like everybody I've seen react to it is just absolutely in love with him, with her, with them. Yeah. Super crossover. You could literally a kids movie at the same time. It's a cool spy movie at the same time. It's a slice of life. It's great. Good stuff.
Yeah. It's all those things in one, and it's great.
So, guys, out of the films that we talked about last week and this week, what are your guys' top 3 favorite Ghibli Studio films?
The top 3.
Mm-hmm. If you can.
Well,
no pressure.
Well, for me, number 1 is definitely Spirited Away. My second favorite, probably. Probably my third favorite is probably The Cat Returns, and the second favorite probably is does Castle Cagliostro count?
Say what?
Yes, I think it counts, but we didn't cover it.
No, we didn't, because while Miyazaki did that film, technically Studio Ghibli didn't do it.
Yeah, well, it didn't exist at the time, so it couldn't be.
No.
But I still consider it to be as much
so,
as.
So if it's strictly, I mean, if it was strictly Ghibli films, then yeah, Spirited Away. No, I can't decide. Of course, My Neighbor Totoro. Spirited Away, Totoro, and The Cat Returns. I think. Yeah, I said The Cat Returns.
All right. What about you, Stefan?
Nausicaa, definitely. Howl's Moving Castle, definitely, and not in any particular order. All 3 are tied for first place, in my opinion. And I really liked Castle in the Sky. I mean, no discredit to the other films we watched, but those ones really touched my heart.
Well,
actually, instead of Castle in the Sky, I'll go with Princess Mononoke because it's a little bit more epic.
Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind,
mm-hmm.
Castle in the Sky, and Princess Mononoke.
Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, and Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind.
Okay.
Actually, reconsider. Maybe I should have said Nausicaa for my third choice.
Because I've seen it in so many incarnations at this point.
Or maybe Poco Rosso. It's hard to choose. I love them all so much.
It's almost impossible to choose. I'm just
choosing
the hitters.
All I know for certain, my top one is Spirited Away.
All right. How about you, Ray of Hope? Any Ghibli films that you know of that you are in your top 3? Have you seen?
Oh, yes. I have to agree with Darlick. Number 1 is Spirited Away. Number 2, definitely Mononoke, because I saw that, my teens. And Castle in the Sky. It was good, but the other 2 are just better.
For me, I know I haven't mentioned this before. It's Castle in the Sky, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Whisper of the Heart.
Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Now, the films that I'm okay with, but somewhat, I would say don't like, but more, maybe it's disappointed, maybe it's the right word. Let's see. I believe one of them was, what was the one film I was looking? I would say Poco Rosso. That's a little bit. It's okay, but not necessarily my favorite of the Ghibli films.
there's a lot of close fourths and fifths and sixths on this list. It's really, like I said, my three choices are all number one. They're interchangeable. Any one of them could be at the top. They're all equally amazing.
Yeah, I do think all the Ghibli films that we talked about last week and this week are all good in their own right.
Castle in the Sky, just for the escape of the robot. I'm sorry, Mana?
Man Ray?
I said they're all good, but some are better than others.
True.
Ones are more well made.
That's true too. Yeah, there's an execution coupled with really good story that kind of takes over the whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I let's see. Studio Ghibli has, the first film came out in 1984. So they've been going on since 1984. And Hayao Miyazaki's been, in and out of retirement. So I can't wait to see, what's next of Studio Ghibli films that we're going to see in the future. One of them I just mentioned, based off of a novel called How Do You Live? I don't know when that's going to be released, but when it does, I'll be looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mana, you were talking about manga. Have you checked out any of the Nausicaa graphic novels?
No, I have not. The only manga I really read anymore is One Piece. I did go through the entirety of Berserk before Miro died. But yes, I'm kind of.
Let me see if I can get a picture.
Yeah, I got up to the part right where whatever the female general Guts' lady got all of her memories back, and that was the last part I read. Yeah, pretty good end as far as that goes. Shame he wasn't able to finish it, but yeah, these things happen.
Well, there is discussion about how he's going to finish that all off. Yes, there is.
So this is
epic.
The Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind manga.
Oh yeah, and they say they've got the bones of it, but
I have this book.
You do?
Yes, I don't have it currently with me, but I do have it. I haven't read it yet, but I promise you this: I will read it at some point.
It's so my understanding.
I guess you can say it's kind of like an omnibus. I can't really tell if it's just one book or just, 3 books in all one in a book cover.
Yeah, I think it's a box with maybe 3 or 4 volumes, maybe 5 volumes inside of it. It's pretty extensive story.
I see. The deluxe edition. I see.
But if you saw Nausicaa and you enjoyed it, I hear the manga is even more gratifying.
It was pretty good.
Let's see if there's any pictures of it.
Because it was written simultaneously with the production of the film, from what I understand.
It was pretty cool they got Bacard to be in that movie, I gotta say. That is pretty neat.
That was the new audio track that they did, because before that, I forget who did it. I don't even know if it was a known actor. But Mark Hamill did a take on the early American edition, and then they got somebody else to do them in the later edition. It's the American dubs are all over the map most of the time.
Well, I think it came out back when anime was, the redheaded stepchild of, animation here in America, and they just treated them like trash,
Yeah.
You remember those times. I remember those times, too, I'm sure.
So there's 2 volumes, and it has like a foldable wallpaper. They have in there as well of Nausicaa.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming and talking about our love of Studio Ghibli films. I don't know what next week's gonna be. Next week, I'll be traveling, so I won't be available to do this on Monday. I can most likely do this next Tuesday. But again, I'm not sure which topic I'm going to do for next week as of yet. I'll certainly let you guys know. Also, please check out, the channel that I put in the live chat. Also, please check out my gaming channel. I play, ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, Agatha Christie, the ABC Murders. Right now, I'm playing a PS2 game on the that I purchased on the PS4 called Tai, the Tasmanian Tiger.
Nice.
Yes, I got that right that time. So please follow my gaming channel, and also follow my gaming Twitter profile for updates.
I didn't realize you had a separate gaming channel.
Yes, I do. Yeah, this is my gaming channel that you can follow me on YouTube.
Any thoughts on doing Bloodlines for Halloween?
Say it again, Monterey?
Any thoughts on doing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline for Halloween?
I'm not familiar with that. Is that a video game or a movie?
It's a video game.
No, I'm not familiar with it.
Is this stream going out on Twitch as well?
Yes.
Right.
This is also on Twitch. And also check out my gaming profile on Twitter for updates when I'm gaming, because sometimes YouTube is not good with their notifications, as we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you guys for coming. I don't know which topic next week I'm gonna do. I'll let you guys know. It's mostly likely gonna be on a Tuesday instead of Monday, since I'll be traveling around that time. Yeah, also follow the channels on the live chat. Follow my gaming channel. Also follow my gaming Twitter profile. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good night, everyone.
Indeed. Night.
Okay. Good night.
This was fun. Well, see you later. Have a good rest of the week.
If this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.